everybody, and welcome to the Monday live stream where I forgot to switch the outline image. That's last week's. Hey everybody, we got so much to talk about this week. We were like last week, we were like, oh, there's like basically no news. This week it's like, are we gonna have time to squeeze it all in?
And then it's like we're gonna think like, oh, maybe we could do something like cool, fun, like tier listing today. Then bombshell stupid big bombshell news came out last week.
Yep.
That's like
I was expecting the biggest news to be like CCXP happened in Brazil and we got some toys. That was, but then this Warner Brothers purchase not only went from like, oh, who won the bid to who's trying to do a hostile takeover, and so we got to like do an entire breakdown of it.
Warning! We're gonna get into some political talk because we sadly have to because of what's going on. So do note for that.
Just a fair warning, when we do get to talk about the Warner Brothers situation, politics have entered the conversation, so it will be part of our conversation.
And also, please be civil.
Yes, we will be monitoring the chat because we're going to keep this thing professional. I'm going to do my best.
We will give you the facts and try not to be super opinionated, but
it's gonna happen. Y'all know I'm super anti-corporate, so. If these corporations didn't own the things I liked, I'd never be giving them money.
Speaking of that,
Master Ben said, Master Ben sent a chat. I have a really quick, easy story of this. What was your favorite Christmas gift from childhood? Okay, so way back when it was, what was it, 1998 or something? Transmetal 2 Beast Wars. One of the gifts I asked for Christmas was Optimal Optimus. And so we were traveling, my family was traveling, and so we were visiting my grandparents, and so I didn't get Optimal Optimus, even though it was like the number one thing on my list, and I was like kind of bummed about it. But we got home, and then my dad was like putting his coat away, and he was like, hey, Santa left a present in the closet, and it was the Optimal Optimus, and it was like a note attached where Santa was like, oh, we know you would have trouble fitting this in your luggage, so I left it here for you for when you came back.
I love that.
Unforgettable.
Oh shit! Jamie's World sent 10 memberships. Okay.
Oh, thank you, Jamie's World. All right,
I'll read his super chat. Hey Sam, love the channel. Is Netflix going to buy out our servers? What's stopping them from buying Disney or Paramount? And so we'll get to that.
We will talk about that when we get to it. It's going to be the last topic of the day, just so everybody knows, like, ahead of time. We're going to get everything else in and then get to it because it's just it's so overwhelming that like it'll just take the whole stream if we
start with it. So thanks to Jamie's World, we and I apologize for mispronouncing these names, such as censored the ats. We got Ferno Prey Ra 5433, Len Nick Jackson 4120, Adrian Montazan 7216. GoBro 67, Golfman 7830, Bub T 69, Killer Nuck Tokusatsu, Adamanda Kutsu. I gotta apologize, very much apologize. Justin Ivana 6691, and Sonic Doctor. Thank you so much, Jamie's World, for that.
Thank you. We really appreciate that. It's a great bonus for the holiday season because there's gonna be a lot of great videos on the channel this month. And thank you, Jamie's World. That helps support the channel and also helps support the community. And so everybody that is a channel member with early access, there's gonna be a lot of stuff this month. I can start like overlapping production on stuff. We're getting into some crazy times. I did want to highlight a comment from Hellfire, who listed a Philip DeFranco quote: "You may not mess with politics, but politics messes with you." That is a very like evergreen statement.
Honestly, that is such a that really sums up everything.
And especially lately, I think it was Trey and Matt Sloan, the South Park creators, recently were asked like, "Oh, why are you doing more political commentary on South Park now?" And they're like, "Well, politics became pop culture, so we just had to cover it." And that's kind of where we're at. So
speaking of Paramount.
Yes. I
had to suffer through. I suffered through. No, I did not support them because screw Paramount. I watched the Earthspark finale. It's so
I heard
bad.
on Paramount Plus they put the episodes in the wrong order and half of one of them was missing when it first.
Apparently you can't, if you want to watch the full specials. You cannot just watch them to Earthspark. You have to searched them up by themselves on the search engine on Paramount Plus. Apparently, from what I heard, I'm not sure that's 6 now, but when it
That's
first
so
came out,
dumb.
yeah. But
I mean, also we
holy
had
crap!
another weird technical glitch. If you were trying to watch Digimon Beat Break on Hulu, the subs were missing and it didn't show up on Disney Plus right away. And they
Was
fixed it like 12 hours later. But
we were able to watch it.
I haven't watched it yet. But I know what
Okay,
happens, and my joke from last week was true. I don't know if I told
you
that
like?
joke on stream.
I'm not sure you did. I'm not sure you did. No.
My joke on stream last week was, "Wow, Geckomon's taking so long to digivolve. Chiropomon's going to do it first."
Way to go, Digimon Batman.
Yes. Digimon Batman. But
But yeah,
anyways,
but
Earthspark.
ho-
I didn't
oh,
watch it, but Ryan did.
no, no, because holy crap, it's so bad. It is like
I
legitimately
saw the
like
massive crash out on Transformers Twitter.
I know, and it's justified because oh man, it was suffering like legitimately like it was. I could like stand when I watched the season 2, but also like going like ugh, at it. I never watched season 3, but holy crap, like season 2. I mean, the season 4 specials legitimately made me like groan so out loud because the right man, I don't want to say much about the man, but like I kind of now agreeing with you about because Greg Weisman was one of the writers, is one of the writers of the 2 finales, and and I might it was like 2 and 3 writers. So I'm not sure all of us should
I've
blame
loved Greg
on him.
Weisman's work in the past, but if anyone ever wants to hear me talk about the Gargoyles comics, I feel like that man has fallen off in every single
I mean,
category.
I really did not like Spider-Man when
Yeah.
that comic came out. But like, man, like, it's one of the things where they backtrack so much of what the show like themes were by the end of it. I'm like, what was the play of the show? And also, like, you had to be the show.
I
Your
saw the
show and
scene where
what?
Breakdown almost died because he was too busy dabbing.
Yep. And I'll tell you, your writing I know when your writing is really bad. When I cannot stand hearing Zeno Robinson talk, he's one of my favorite voice actors. So like you, I think
Oof.
when I legitimately didn't want to say shut up when Trash is talking, I think you screwed up that bad with
Oof.
your writing. Your writing and also voice directing. There, it wasn't just Zeno. Everyone's voice director was pretty in the
I'm
specials.
gonna dare to ask the question that I know the answer to already. Did they treat my bot Nightshade well?
I mean, they haven't give any of the Motobots any attention apparently since season 1. So they were just there in the background saying
Wow.
stuff. That's it.
Wow. Wow.
That's it. Also,
Yeah.
I really despise what they did to Hot Rod, and
I heard
like
his
that's the kid.
voice. I was like, who gave him 100 Marlboros before going into the recording booth?
It's like Eric Bell. It's like Eric Bell's voicing Hot Rod. Oh, that's a good casting. They some reason have him do his like deepest voice. I'm like, why would you? Why would you? What's the voice direction?
Yeah.
I love people joking like he just ate all cup cigarettes, something like that.
Oh, legitimately. So I guess on that though, watch it if you want. I don't know if I'm
What?
gonna do it. I don't know
I,
if I can put
I,
myself through it.
I would say someone has uploaded on YouTube, and if you have a VPN, there you go. And that's only if you live in America, because my
Mm.
America, mind you. But because I'm just gonna say, don't give money to Paramount Plus, but Paramount in general.
I mean, giving money to Paramount sucks. I don't like doing it. They have a Star Trek show
Oh yeah,
next month.
yeah, they're right. Yeah, you're right. You watch Star Trek. That's
Stuck. Yeah.
it's me. It's like me with Sonic.
Star
It's like
Trek and the last 5 months of Colbert.
yeah, like that's
Yeah.
me with not like with the Sonic movies. I love the Sonic movies. I just hate they're produced by Paramount.
Yep. We'll be talking about Paramount. Let me think if there's anything else before we get into it. Let's just get into it because I got a lot of schedule discussion to go with. So let's pop over here to the channel last week. Thank you all 568 people that watched the Metroid video. I appreciate every single one of you. Um,
It was really good.
that
I
was
also like
I was like that video's gonna flop, and it did. I'm totally cool with it because I knew going in. I wasn't Disney
how
with the Tron franchise.
how I think I'm more surprised about the other M part because like how do you feel about other M? Because I to me with other M I get gameplay wise I think it's fine, but with story wise I think I like the ideas of it. I
I
just
get
feel
what
like they
they were
needed
trying
like
to do. It just did not execute well.
I feel like other M's story, the idea of it is not bad, but
Yeah.
I feel like they need a lot of passes on that one.
I
and such like that.
was looking at some videos. The Japanese script was much better, and I feel like I wonder who translated the script before they did the voice recording.
What's his name? It was who was the Metroid director?
Yeah.
It's
Well, I mean, that, like, he was
because
in
I
charge of
think
the project because, like, the thing is, like, there was I was watching a videos comparing the Japanese version of Other M to the English version, and like so many of the lines are just completely different characterizations.
yeah, because
Yeah.
hold on, 'cause let me do a
I saw
quick.
this tweet that sums up Other M perfectly. It's like, because of how this was received, we'll never see Metroid try this hard again.
There you go, Sakamoto. So
Yeah.
he's the main producer of Metro right now. He produces Dread. I appreciate he also helped produce Prime 4.
I don't know if he
And
was
he was
on
in
Prime
charge.
4 because I think it's usually a separate team doing Prime from the main
I think
series.
he like overlooked it. I think he
Yeah.
overlooked it at the very least. But like he was in charge of I think the English script and the English voice direction and like that and it Other M's voice direction really streams Japanese. Yeah, such a what I hear about like the
Yep.
Sonic Dreamcast era voice actors. It's a case of Japanese actors trying to direct English actors, aka not very good half the
Yeah.
time.
I think that was like a big issue with it because I think Metroid Other M, like I think also gameplay wise, they were trying something new, which I thought was cool.
Oh yeah, I think
And
gameplay
story,
wise it's fine. I
yeah,
think gameplay wise it's fine, except for those hallway sections. I
it's a
really
little
didn't like those
clunky, but
hallways.
it's at least they were trying something. I think story wise, they really did have the potential there. It just didn't stick the landing. Um, but Prime 4, I feel like is great. I've been enjoying the hell out of the Prime 4.
The
Um,
hate, the
yeah.
hate for that game is so stupid.
The hate for that game is legitimately forced and
I
borderlines
know,
on
right?
people. So, like, the thing
Rip-
is, I don't mind if somebody hasn't played all the games in a series, but don't go around pretending like you have to justify
Yeah,
your hate
I
campaign
know.
because, like, people will be like, "Oh, you have to do this to do this." I'm like, "Yeah, you did that in Prime 2 and 3."
I think also
Like,
I
if you
think
didn't play those, that's fine, but don't be going around like you did.
I think also as much as I really do love Prime One, I think people need to realize that Prime One is kind of the exception and
Prime
not the
1
norm.
was basically a tech demo. It was,
Prime,
can we make Metroid 3D?
essentially, you know the development history of Prime
Yeah.
Prime One. It practically is, and like Prime One's still a great game, but like it is it is like the outlier because it was practically just Retro trying to figure out how to make Metroid a 3D, and that was the
Yeah.
goal. Two and three,
And
and
then
like
Prime becomes what Prime is, starting with Prime 2.
yeah, with because that's when the Galactic Federation forces start becoming a big
Yeah.
thing. 'Cause I do actually like I do like one thing I like about your in your video you do I think which I agree with is how Prime the series is more focused on the Galactic Federation
Mm.
and the world building, which yeah, no, I totally agree because that's what it is. I think
Yeah.
so many people don't realize that honestly because like yeah, we had the Galactic Federation in the main series, but like only in the background. Like I feel like the only time where they were reporting was in Fusion and Other M, and that's
Mm.
it.
And
That
yeah,
was the only time.
that's the only time. And then yeah, but the Prime series is all about the Galactic Federation and Samus's connection to them and stuff. And then yeah, and then you got the main series, which is about Samus and the Metroids. So I think the Prime 4 reaction is very funny. I think was it Nintendo World Report did a video about the Prime 4 backlash and the preview stuff, and he had this great line where he said, the guy was doing it said, you know, it does feel like there's a lot of people complaining about Prime 4 that have only played Prime 1 and think that's what the entire series is.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think that's because the only game that's easily accessible in
Is
the
Prime
Switch
1.
generation is Prime One. Yeah.
Yep. And it would have been nice to have gotten the remasters of 2 and 3 out. Not necessarily for story reasons, but just for like expectation setting. Because 4 just feels like we you know, we're continuing where 3 left off, but we're doing a lot more stuff. It's funny because there's some sections of it that remind me of Breath of the Wild.
Mm.
And I'm like, it doesn't come in for a while, but like you get to a certain point in the game, and I'm like, I feel like Breath of the Wild is here in a way, and and that's funny because like my only negative about Prime 4 is also a negative I have about Breath of the Wild, that people just told me I was dumb for having that negative, and I can just whip it back around again. So everything comes full circle in my contentious relationship with the gaming community. So
I think yeah, I think it's also I think what it is with about what Prime 4 is I think some people I think it's the curse of expectation because we've
yeah,
been waiting 8 years for the game and I had to say that like well I get some people might be disappointed it wasn't like this masterpiece 8 years in waiting. I think some people need to let
They
go
weren't
of
working
that
on it
maybe,
for 8 years. They only worked on it for 4.
and also like years down the line, people are gonna pick up the game not knowing the 8 year late and going like, "Oh, I like Predator Prime 4. It's a fun game," and all that stuff. Like,
I think it's similar. It's in a similar boat to Prime 3 as well.
and Prime
Okay,
3 was
Muteki
my
said, "What's the
favorite.
complaint?" Let me just explain what the complaint is. So, Prime 4 has a bit of a hub world that's just an open desert between areas, and
Mhm.
there's like some things to do and some enemies to encounter, but it's honestly just kind of empty. Breath of the Wild, my biggest complaint with that game was the fact that it was an open world Zelda game with absolutely nothing to do. Like the only things you could do is just go pick up food and cook and then fight enemies. And I'm like, that's boring after like an hour for me. It is not that much to do. I'm just like, get me to the next goal. And then a lot of people are like, no, it's the atmosphere, it's the experience, it's part of the world building. And I'm like, okay, so you're all complaining about an empty desert when you said that Breath of the Wild's empty forest was the same. And no, they're the same exact thing. You just got a bit of a bias because people just overhype Zelda. That's my hot
I
take of
think
the day.
yeah, I think I haven't got. I think I'm at this part where
Yeah.
where I haven't played the game much because of my of work. But like I think it's like for me when it comes to that stuff is it at least quick, and is it like
Like, the thing
can
is,
you
you're
like
riding a motorcycle in the desert. You can go quick. And then there's a bunch of
yeah,
stuff to do along the way. And sometimes you have to
that's yeah,
backtrack
like
to it when you get upgrades. It's a whole Metroid thing. But, like, it's not like Zelda where you're like, I don't have a horse yet. I have to walk to this mountain.
yeah, that's why like I don't mind like the open zones and like Sonic Frontiers because
Yeah.
Sonic can just boost everywhere. And stuff like that. So that's why I don't mind like there's some empty
Mm.
spaces, some of the open zones and frontiers, but like Sonic can go zoom so fast you can get to your
Yeah.
destination pretty quick. And from what I've seen, that's pretty much what it is with Vilola and Prime 4,
Yeah.
essentially that.
So I think it's great. I think that, is it a complaint? Sure. But you better be consistent, because I found that was one of my biggest issues with Breath of the Wild was the just vast emptiness of nothing, which was a hardware limitation, right, of the Switch, and that I was just like a big problem I have with that game.
Actually, no. Remember, it wasn't. Remember, it was meant to be a Wii U game, so
That's
that's
right,
a
yeah, it
Wii
was a
U
Wii U
thing.
game. Sorry, that was the hardware limitation of the Switch. It was the hardware limitation of the Wii U.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I think it covers for Metroid though. Comic book haul that did well. There was somebody that left a comment and said, "An hour of talking about comic books, sign me up." And I was like, "You're in the right place. You're in the right place." Video scheduling coming up. I'm shifting some things around. I'm pushing the X-Men teams update video. I need more time to work on it. And this month got kind of packed. I'm still going to get the MVC roster update video out this month for the action figures. Because I've already got that written. It's pretty straightforward and easy
I
to
think
do.
I think we're gonna eventually just call December Blu-ray December at this point. I feel
Blu-ray
like.
Sember because if you got I got stuff that came in that all needs videos.
Well, I mean, was it November? No,
Yeah.
comic member comic
Sorry,
member.
comic people. There's not going to be that many comic videos this month. I've got a stack of things to cover. Um, we've got Kamen Rider the First and Next from Media Blasters that showed up today. This is the next thing that's getting reviewed. It's the Ninja Turtle Arrow Video 4K for the trilogy, which I got to watch through this because I want to get this out as soon as possible. Because
We got that.
the release date for this is next week. So I'm like, ooh, let me get my video out before it comes out officially.
And yeah, the whole media history thing you want to
Yes.
do also.
As part of that, I can start finalizing the home video history for Turtles, which fair
Well,
warning
what's
ahead of
the best?
time, I'm going to be recycling footage from my 2003 DVD review because I don't need to redo the 4 Kids
The
volumes
best, yeah,
again.
that's the best part. You have scars, you have so much scars from Turtle Home Media. You could easily do that video.
Oh, absolutely. I've also got the Devilman Crybaby set in from Anime Limited, which is like so much higher quality than the Cyberpunk Edgerunner set from Aniplex that I'm kind of astounded at how much better this is. Like this art book is like super thick and cool. The Blu-rays come in like this really fancy like tray disc system.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
yeah. I'm gonna be I'm gonna definitely so what I'm gonna be doing, because I don't have enough time in the schedule to do like a separate Devilman review, I don't think. Because I have another thing I gotta do that I'm not gonna talk about yet. But I'm gonna look at it. But I think what I'm gonna do is put this set into my video on the Cyberpunk set which will be a video about Aniplex USA's prices in general and like what is their value compared to other companies doing anime like this one, because I think this is solid for its price, whereas the Aniplex stuff is very
that,
not great for their prices.
That was like what, $80 for
it was
Deadpool,
95 on Shout's website. I think Groove is selling it cheaper. Let me go double check. Because it was yeah. I paid 95 through Shout's website, and they still shipped it to me even though the Shout website died. But I saw it on Groove, which is the new Shout home. Okay, Groove has it for 95 as well. They had it at 75 at one point, but it went back up to 95. This feels like it's worth 95. The Cyberpunk set does not feel like it's worth 140. So I'm going to be discussing that in a video. And then come next Blu-ray haul, I'll throw in the Tom and Jerry Golden Collection, because I don't have the time to do a separate video on it.
And then there's also Digimon, your Discotek order, which can come out any minute now.
Any minute now, the next Discotek order, and the Kaiju number 8 limited edition is also going to be soon. So there's a lot.
Blu-ray Sember.
Yep. So there will be some other stuff just kind of pushed aside. But I'll get the MVC roster video. I've got a sponsored video coming up. I'll discuss that when it comes out. And that's pretty much it, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, shorts. There's not gonna be a short tomorrow. I need to watch Ninja Turtles Blu-rays tonight. So last week I did the Inhumans and the Executioner Wave from Marvel Legends. Just knock those out.
Executioner Wave is a frustrating way, because I actually think all the figures in that wave is pretty good, but like I'm not sure I can't convince myself to buy them all, especially how expensive.
7 times $28 plus tax.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like with all the current price hikes from Hasbro, it's like that's a way I would buy, but no, I can't justify myself paying.
Oh, is the Kaiju number 8 Blu-ray out tomorrow? Is it that soon? Sorry, I'm gonna go double check that. Yeah, no, for the price, I'm like, these are all great, but like, $28 a figure is not sustainable for a Build-A-Figure anymore.
We'll get more stuff. I like those sideways in Onslaught.
Yeah. No, yeah, we'll definitely get to the prices. The Inhumans, though, oh my god, the Inhumans are so good. And I
have a Gorgon and Medusa in my pile. Really, because Trident and Black Bolt is on processing, but like I haven't got them yet, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Surprisingly yet.
I got mine from GameStop. They weirdly like ship them out like before everybody else. That's why I already got like Triton and Black Bolt.
I really should grab Crystal and Lockjaw eventually before it's too late scenario.
Yeah. Oh, Crunchyroll already shipped my Kaiju number 8.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
It depends when you're aiming to release the Aniplex video.
I will wait for my Kaiju number 8 to show up. I still have to wait.
Point.
The Aniplex sale ends tomorrow on Crunchyroll, so I can start the research tomorrow. I had to wait.
Oh yeah, you can do.
Yeah, I had to wait for the Crunchyroll Aniplex sale to end before I could do the Aniplex video, because I wanted to go by what the price Crunchyroll sells it at, not the list price, right? So the sale ends tomorrow, so I'm going to wait for Kaiju number 8 to come in. I got to get Turtles out. I got to get Kamen Rider out. I got to get the sponsored video out. Like, that's all got to come first.
Here's a question, Sam. Just in December alone, will you get 12 Blu-rays this month?
Already at 4, maybe.
12 days of Blu-ray miss on the 12th day of Blu-ray miss. FedEx delivered to me.
I mean, if we count the discs, I was gonna say, if we count the discs, there's 2 discs on Kamen Rider, 3 on Turtles. That's 5. There's 6 on Tom and Jerry. So we're already up to 11, and Devilman's 2. So we got 13 already. We got 13 discs already.
Is there a 5-disc set? Do we have a 5-disc set in your December orders?
I don't think so. Kaiju number 8's on like 2 discs, I think.
Oh, damn it! Wait, how many discs in the Turtles set?
Turtles just 3. It's 3 4Ks.
Damn it! Damn it! We can't do
5
Blu-ray
discs. Yep. Ace did. I forgot to mention this in the notes, so we'll just talk about it here. Epic collections are getting announced on Thursday over on Near Mint Conditions channel.
Okay, so
Omar and Curtis
that's
are
next.
doing those. That's Thursday. So
All right,
we'll talk about our thoughts on them next Monday.
next week.
But everyone go check out Near Mint Condition if you're a comic fan because they do great stuff over there. But they're announcing the Epic Collections on Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern. They're doing a live stream for it, and I'm happy because my Epic Collection videos, I know they would get out of date soon, but I got my videos out with a significant enough lead time that they're still up to date. So makes me happy. I think that covers it for video channel stuff. There's
Yeah.
going to be a crazy next couple weeks for me. So
Santa's delivering his Blu-rays everywhere.
yep, I've got there's a lot to talk about. And so also adding to this, I'm going to be doing a best Blu-rays of 2025 video in January. And the way I'm going to do it's a little different is what I was talking to my mom about this. We're going to do essentially the best Blu-rays instead of a top 10 ranking. I'm going to use the categories from the AV Group's Home Video Media Awards. I'm going to use their categories and then just fill it in myself as here's what I think is the best of each of these categories. And I'm going to have my mom do the same for what we got this year. And we're going to have two separate ballots. I'm not going to look at it ahead of time. And then we'll be going off here's the best Blu-rays of the year based on those categories from two different people. So that way it has that way it has a broader reach. Because obviously there's some things that came out the Downton Abbey limited edition set is one that my mom's probably going to pick over me, where I would pick something maybe Turtles, or something like that. So that's going to be
We'll both have Murder, She Wrote, that giant brick.
Possibly. We're not going to discuss it. We're not going to discuss it ahead of time. I'm going to give my mom a list of the Blu-rays we got this year, and of the new ones, and I'm going to give her the list of categories, and she's going to fill it out. We're not going to discuss it, and so that way in the video it'll be a surprise.
I think what I'm looking for the most is in the next Blu-ray haul is going to be just a whole section about the story, how it complete your how you complete your One Piece collection.
Yeah, for anyone that's not keeping up on the Discord, I own all 39 volumes, 6 movies, and 7 TV specials that have been released.
Honestly, they could either be a whole segment or a whole video. At this point,
I think it's going to be a whole segment, and then I want to do a whole video on them as here's the problem with these sets, and some of the things to keep a collecting guide, because
if you do that, you should do a what's missing, aka what Sue is not come over here, the movies and some specials and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I want to do something like that where it's here, look at all the things that were released. Here's what's not been released, and then also here's some things to keep an eye out for. Yeah, so it's a lot.
When's season 2, Netflix season 2 coming out again?
March. Oh, actually, that'd be a good time to do it.
Yeah.
Ad rates will pick back up by then. And then maybe volume 40 will be out by then. So it's a nice even 40. Even 40. There's a lot of volumes of One Piece. I mapped it out based on the digital releases. They could have 47 collections out, so they're 8 behind.
Master Ben, what's your rundown plans? I think we discussed this previously, but I think we're going much more easier next year, right?
It's going to be in January. The Marvel one's basically filmed. I've covered practically when I've been doing shorts, I've been filming the rundown footage at the same time, so that way everything can be already kind of pre-made. So that way all I gotta do is it's mostly gonna be an editing job. The Transformers one is gonna be, I don't want to say slideshowy, but it's gonna be a little more slideshowy.
If you need a filler, honestly, if you just want to have a filler break week or whatever, you should do a because you film every short in both 16:9 and landscape, right?
Yep.
You could easily do a figure arts rundown where it's just here's all the figures I reviewed in 2025 or something
That's
like that.
true. I did fall off of that because I got a bunch of figure arts sitting at Ami Ami. There's a bunch sitting there that I need to get in. So
you can easily do that. If you want to do a filler one. I
need to do the Jack Sonic video for 2025.
Oh, the Jack's roundout.
That's also going to be next year. It's going to be literally everything from 2025.
Really? I think. You know that could totally be a rundown. I don't know, the phrase Jack's roundup is kind of catchy to me.
It is catchy.
I don't know why.
I'll definitely do something with that.
I want to do the thumbnails for them, but schedule ever since I opened the whole Kofi thing, I've been so busy that like I said I might have to skip out Sally because
That's totally
that
fine. I don't want to.
yeah,
The problem with the rundown last year that was like mentally like traumatizing was it was like, all right, I just spent 50 hours making this Marvel rundown. What do you mean it got 900 views?
yeah. I think and that's
Just yeah.
and from my end. Well, I love doing the rundown thumbnails. The problem is I have paying customers monthly
hmm
now, and they had to come first. Sadly.
and in a business format, right? Like if we just ignored like the friendship thing we got going on, if we ignore the friendship and we just did business, I wouldn't pay for custom thumbnails for the rundowns based on how they've been performing,
Yeah.
because they're not gonna perform. Like everything is a gamble. Everything is a gamble on YouTube when you make a video, but like you can notice trends. Like for example, when I did the DC Finest video and it blew up, I was like, I need to do a follow up. Marvel Epic Gaps. Like I just started banging out these comic videos because they were doing really well, right? Rundowns haven't done
Hit the
well in
iron when it's
3
hot.
years.
Hit the iron when it's hot scenario.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
rundowns haven't been doing well. So I'm gonna still do them, but like it's not gonna be like an hour-long rundown on Marvel Legends. It's probably gonna be like 30 minutes. And Transformers is also gonna be stripped down. I was gonna like I think last year I was doing like collab and all this other. I'm just gonna do just mainline and studio
Agent
series.
Prime.
Yeah.
Agent Prime's is DC. Because it just doesn't help that
Mhm.
they have the same box now, same style box now.
They're basically the same toy line. The way it's going to be structured this time, because I was talking over with some people, and I think this is going to work best. We're going to structure it different, so it's going to be like, so it's like Age of the Primes. So we'll talk about the 13 Primes members first. Then we'll talk about like the combiners, and then we'll just throw everybody else together, and then like at the end go, here's everybody I didn't buy. Instead of going wave by wave, that way you have like a little bit of structure. So it's like here's this group, here's everybody else. Um, that's kind of just like the thought of how we'll do it. So we'll see how it goes over. Because I think that'd be fun. Now, if it doesn't go over as it basically, if this year's rundowns don't match last year's rundowns, then I might just scrap the rundown and do the tier list thing that Master Ben's suggesting. But with at least with
Yeah.
Marvel, because I do the shorts for Marvel, it's not that much extra work to produce the rundown. Like essentially, like even though I don't review,
It's practically as a compilation at that point.
basically,
Honestly.
like I just re-record the narration and call it a day.
That's what that's why I
Yeah,
suggest the figure arts one because that's
yeah, it's another
rundowns
one.
at this point rundowns are compilations at this point, so might as well do
Mm.
that with the figure arts at this point and such.
Yeah. And so I think, and with Marvel, like for example, I don't review every Marvel figure as a short, right? Like I didn't review Iceman because it's just Iceman. So, but when I went to shoot the Inhumans, I just filmed the stuff for Iceman at the same time. So I'm not spending that
Mm.
much extra time working on the Marvel one. The Transformers one's trickier because it's like vehicle mode, robot mode, like a lot more work. I'm gonna give it a go. But if the reception's not great, I'm not gonna keep doing it. Just what we got to do. So yeah. Also, see, Fonzie asked what number my Kamen Rider Blu-ray is. It's a 505, which is fun. So
505.
yeah, 505 out of 1,000. But yeah, because the thing is, it's just the way the channel's been working. Shorts, toys, full-length videos, Blu-rays, comics. That's been the successful formula for now. So we're gonna keep rolling with that. Still hope the MVC video. Like obviously, I'm still gonna do some like long-form toy videos, MVC video, that kind of thing. I'm not doing anything related to G.I. Joe Classified. First of all, I still like the line, but I've slowed down collecting it a whole lot, which also not having to do the rundown makes me like not feel like I have to buy everything, which is good. And then second of all, I have like a pile of stuff I've not even opened because I just don't have room. I don't have room. I made my display like last year, and I was like, "This is beautiful," and then now I'm like, "Oh, I have to add stuff." Like I have to reorganize the whole thing to fit the Rattler in, and the Snake Armor, and Pythona, and the Desert Scorpion. Like there's still stuff I want, but like they're just sitting in a box because like right now I'm like if I open them, all their accessories have to go somewhere. So it's better just to keep them in their packaging until I get the space. So, anyways, that's channel updates. I think it's time to get into the topics of the day, like Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which I wanted to discuss because it's a new movie.
Har, 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 har.
So I just want to put context. I don't remember if I reviewed the first movie on a stream.
I think we talk about. I think you talk about
Yeah.
you talk about you liking. I was actually surprised that you liked it.
So I went to see the first Five Nights at Freddy's because I heard Jim Henson Creature Shop, and I was like, "Cool." I don't have any attachment to this franchise, so I have. I've got no like prior attachment. I just watched the first
So
movie because I thought Jim Henson Creature Shop, and then I actually came out really enjoying the first movie. Thought had a lot of heart, a lot of good emotional center. The effects were cool, and I was like, "This is neat." And so then the second one comes out, and I'm like, "Cool, I'm gonna go see it."
So here's the thing. Shout
Yeah.
is coming from someone who hadn't played the games, and not a huge fan. I'm coming in as someone who enjoys the games and the lore, and we both end up not liking it.
Yes.
I think that tells you something, sadly.
Yep. And also, no shame to anybody that did like it, because
Yeah, no, yeah.
I want to say I'm a Tron Ares apologist, but I did like Tron Ares, even though it, has some flaws. The thing that screwed me up about this movie, and we're not gonna go to spoilers. I felt like it had no emotional center to it. I felt like with the first movie, spoilers for the first movie, you've had time to watch it. The first movie had this really good emotional core between this girl and these four ghost children, and it was like really like heartwarming and kind of like a tight bond. So it's like the horror stuff happening around it. You care about and you're invested in it, even if you're not invested in like the lore of Freddy's and all the characters and stuff. You're like, wow, this is a really good emotional core to be like involved and interested in what's going on. And then it just doesn't exist in this movie. And so I just kind of was like, oh, well, things were happening, stuff was happening. There was a lot of lore and world building, but I was like, yeah, but like characters? Is there character moments? Is there emotional cores? Is there things tying this to the first movie? It kind of felt like they swung really heavy on the fan service and then kind of forgot to like put the emotional core of the movie in. And so I just kind of
All
sat for
right.
a lot of the runtime going like, this is nice, but this also doesn't really hit me anywhere.
Honestly, for me, my problem with the film is how they treat the characters. Honestly, like I thought Abby
Mm,
was all right. They kind of just forgot about her near the end. But like, I really hated how they treated Mike and especially Vanessa. I
yeah.
thought Vanessa's character was fairly fine. I actually did really like Vanessa's character
That shit
in
was
this
really
film.
interesting, too.
Yeah, but like the way again, without going into it, the way they treat her really kind of like really bugged the crap out of me. Where like I felt kind of gross out coming out of the theater
Mm.
because I'll say again, no spoilers, but the ending sucks.
I
Like
gotta tell you, this is one of the worst endings I have seen in a long time. And it sucks because I was like, the movie, I was like I will say, like the movie as itself was like pretty entertaining, but I think like the last 20 minutes, it just fell apart completely for me. Um,
yeah, like I did,
yeah,
I thought like oh when certain characters came back that was fun, but after they disappear, everything kind of just fell up
I
like
was in a
tumbled
pretty
for
packed
me.
theater, and there was people wearing like T-shirts and had merch and stuff, and there was like zero reaction out of people until like the last 20 minutes, which I was like, oh, that's weird. We're all sitting here in silence. Um,
Yeah, because
but I will say that like effects wise, it's still fantastic. I think the practical effects work was really good.
yeah, I think
I was gonna complain the movie wasn't scary enough, but I realized that my barometer on scary is a little askewed at the moment because I've been watching It Welcome to Derry, and that show is absolutely horrifying every single week. So
I seen clips of that show. That show goes like bonkers.
that show is so much darker than the It movies, and I thought the It movies were pretty dark, but like the show is so much darker than it, and I'm like, I think my barometer for what's scary is off, so that's not really like a complaint
I
against this
saw
movie.
one of the clips I saw was the Dieter scene of that show. I'm like, holy crap.
Oh, the theater scene's crazy in context. Because I heard that the first episode was insane for It Welcome to Derry, and so I was like, oh, I should watch it. Um, and then I watched the first episode. I was like, I have to see the show to the end because it's so unpredictable. I don't know where this is gonna go. Yeah, it is a Shining prequel as well. That's the fun part. Is like I'm watching it and I'm like, wait a minute, that's from The Shining.
Oh yeah,
That's from
yeah,
The Dark Tower. Um,
because the Stephen King
yeah.
verse.
And like Stephen King's novels all take place in the same universe, but no production like adaptation has really leaned into that as much.
Yeah.
But yeah, since you still have HBO Max, I had it for Peacemaker, and then it was going to run out, but then I had time to watch it, and then I re-upped it because I was like, I need to see the rest of this. I need to know where this goes. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's gonna be. Yeah, I'm really curious where will that go going forward in the future when we get to the
Yeah.
WB news later. But yeah, but
Anyways,
back to FNAF.
back to
Back to
FNAF.
FNAF 2. I thought the animatronics were used. I mean, all right though. Like man, it does scream. We have Megan Fox. We're gonna use her because I remember right. I think the first film it was implied like was Bonnie was like Abby's favorite, but now it's Chica, and I'm like,
Oh, what? I
huh,
thought
that's
that
weird.
was weird. I actually never even clocked that. Like, I forgot which, because I have not watched the first movie since I saw it in theaters. Um, yeah, I was wondering. I was like, what, Chica was always this important? Like, no, it's because Megan Fox was playing Chica. Oh, okay.
I find it, I mean, I know she was fine. She was way better than her voice acting as Natara, but she was
Yeah,
playing a robot. She was playing a robot, so it's kind of supposed to be monotone. I
but
just
I
find
thought
it
she did a
funny
good
that
job. I mean, I think she did a good job with like what material she was given.
I do give kudos because like Matt Pat plays Bonnie, and I'm actually
Hmm.
really happy they actually have him voice act because he actually he went to Dieter. He's a Dieter kid.
Yeah,
So like they didn't have him just do his normal Matt Pat YouTuber voice. I'm actually really happy to actually have
yeah.
him
It
act.
wasn't like, oh, it's Matt Pat like his cameo in the first movie. It was like,
Yeah,
that's a voice of a
they actually
robot.
have. And I decided to find that Kellen Goff, the professional voice actor, only got one line as
That reminds me, like,
like
remember,
Freddy.
who was it? Who was it that was it David Sobolov was in Rise of the Beast and had like two
Yes,
lines as Battle Trap
as
and none as Rhinox?
Rhinox and Cheetor. Yeah.
Yeah. Hellfire Bro have a good point. He said Freddy's horror comes from the uncanny valiantness of the animatronics and not being able to see what they're doing. I think this movie maybe showed them too much doing stuff, and that also may have
And
made the scares not
played them.
work.
They made it. They played them off as like action pieces in this film, less as
Yeah.
scares. Like the only time where they played them off as scares was like the beginning of the film.
Mhm.
Um, and so
There's
that's
one
about it.
sequence in the middle of the movie I really enjoyed. It was a big video game reference, so like I know gaming fans of the games will love it. I loved it as a very interesting like action set piece in a movie. And I think it was really cool. Like there so like there was still stuff I liked. Um, also my other complaint is Wayne Knight's in it and he's not funny.
Nedry cannot catch a break.
Seriously. I was like, man, Wayne Knight is always funny, even when he's in serious movies. Like he's in Jurassic Park and he's like the funniest guy there. And yet I'm just like, why was he in this? And then they just give him zero comedic lines. Um, so
you got
it's
you
one
got
of those things that I think like it's one of those movies where like as a movie it struggles. But if you're like a huge fan, there's probably more for you in it than
I
as a movie.
from what I've seen, I honestly think I've seen more negativity for the film than I did from fans and positive. I
Yeah.
think there probably is still fans that
I
really
saw a
shit
lot of
on the
people
film,
like
but
that
like
Rotten Tomatoes score is biased, and I'm like, and then I watched the movie, and I was like, no, it's not. Sorry,
yeah, a
this is
lot.
not that good of a movie. It just isn't.
Yeah, I think the problem with this film is two things. They really, I think, sadly, I feel like they were relying on getting a third movie, which I'm
I
not
think
sure
they
how much
will
the
because
movie was made.
they made 3 times their budget over the weekend. So this movie because these
Yeah,
movies cost like almost nothing to make. So I think they're gonna
yeah.
make a third one, and they better.
I think Blumhouse needs to win to
Yeah,
make it too.
yeah. I think
um,
Black Phone 2 and this doing both. Both of them did well. So I think they're bouncing back.
Yeah, but like it relies too much of this being a trilogy, which I don't like because I get like it's one of those like I think at this point they knew they're gonna make a third movie, but
Mm,
still it's one of those like let the film be a film then before they like
yep.
it's like Empire Strike Back is still a decent film without even without Return of the Jedi for example like that. And also and while I do like fan service, I feel like the fan service to the games, I feel like the film relies too much on fan service. Where go like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme point, same as the Mario Brothers movie, the
Yeah.
Filmation Mario Brothers movie. Because me and Simon were talking about, this, but I think the reason why I think the Sonic films I think really resonate to a lot of people because resonate to a lot of people because they are films first,
Yes.
and like when there is fan service, it actually makes sense in terms of the context of the movie. Like when Live and Learn played, it was cool as a Sonic fan, but it also works as a needle drop for because not because they were playing the Live and Learn riff as like Shadows kind of like leitmotif, so it works in the context of the film
Hmm.
when they play Learn in Sonic 3.
Yeah, because
Like
there's
that's
a
like
few moments in this movie where I was just like, okay, because I was like, why are we talking about this right now? Um, yeah, that was kind of like I think that's the fan service gone wrong is when you know your audience like I was keyed in. I watched the first movie. You know, I was like, I want to know more, and then they just like threw in a thing, and I was like, it was God, what was it? It was there was this one thing that they gave like attention to, and then I never followed up why we gave attention to it.
Which was it? Was it during a dream sequence?
No,
Well, like,
Pull Apart Foxy.
oh yeah, okay, yeah, because
And I
Mangle.
know that's a game thing because I googled it after I left the theater.
They tried. They explained it, but not. I think they should have showed it.
Yeah,
Honestly,
they
if
didn't they
because
didn't
they
show
didn't.
it. They just talked about it, and I was like, why are we
Because
talking
the
about
main
this?
goal,
I thought I was
because
gonna come
the whole
back
night,
again.
yeah, because the main goal is supposed to be like in context of the universe in both the movie and the games. It appears that build your own animatronic, but like
Yeah,
animatronic is supposed to be like an attraction that failed, and like honestly, they should have probably showed that at the beginning of the film when it was in the prologue of the film
yeah.
because of
Because like for me, they
context. But
just like showed a poster and talked about it, and I was like, but what does that have to do with anything?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's another example where it's like they could easily just fix that. They showed that
I
at the
will, I
beginning of
will,
the
I will
film.
set expectations because Mr. Snooki said, "Do Skeet Ulrich and Matthew Lillard actually have any scenes together?" No, because Matthew Lillard is in one scene and Skeet Ulrich is in one scene, and they're not the same scene. And so like for me, because like that's the thing is I'm the kind of audience member they like we put Matthew Lillard in it. That's another reason I went to see the first one. Um, he's in one scene. His character like is around in other scenes, but you only see Matthew Lillard in one scene of the movie. And then Skeet Ulrich is in another scene. Now, that being said, you if you watch the movie, you need to stay to the complete end of the credits because
Oh, mid credit, yeah, because there's
well
two.
there's a mid
Uh,
credits scene and there's during the credits there's extra audio that
like the first movie, that
yeah.
fair sets up the next film, like the
Right.
first film.
And if you're a Scream fan, that's where you get something. You get something out of that, but you don't get it in the actual movie itself. Now, if they do a third movie, I imagine they can do more with that. But yeah. Marketing was a little bit misleading. Also, I thought McKenna Grace was going to be in this more, considering she was on every red carpet. So that's that. I mean, that's just me coming from a movie fan perspective.
I
Um,
mean, they did pull a Scream because it's
yeah, they did.
what's her name, the first kill in Scream,
Yeah,
why am I forgetting her name, what's Adam Sandler's wife again, I forget her name.
I, I
I
went I went through way too much Warner Brothers news this morning. I think my brain's forgotten.
yeah, the one that's like I knew their name, but now it's like
Yep.
escaping my head.
Anyways, I will say that like, did I hate watching it? No. Drew
Thank you,
Barrymore.
Mr. Dickey.
Drew
Yeah,
Barrymore.
thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Drew Barrymore. Yep.
Shout out Drew Barrymore. She had a talk show for a bit. That was fun. Anyways, um, also Drew Barrymore is like the nepo baby to end all nepo babies because like her entire family is like actors through the entire history of Hollywood. Anyways, I get on a tangent. So like in as a whole, I didn't hate watching the movie, but I also have no desire to watch it again. But also, if they make a
It's
third
one of
one,
the,
if they make a third one, I'll go see it because the
yeah,
ending at least
same.
it made me go, I do want to see what happens next. Um,
Yeah, like that's the thing
yeah,
is I enjoy myself and I do like a lot. I do like stuff in the film, but like it's one of those films where like more time I think about it, I kind of go like
yeah.
edit scenario where like I don't dislike it. I don't like dislike it, but I don't like it
Like
kind of
I'll
film.
never
It's
watch
a
it again. I think I never
yeah.
rewatched the first one, but the first one had that quality of like I could watch that again. This one had the quality of give me the third movie. I want to see where the story went. I'm not really interested in this movie as it is. But that being said, it did do well at the box office, and it'll probably do well on streaming and digital. And it cost them like almost nothing to make. So I think we're gonna get a third one, and
I
hopefully
just,
they can kind of tighten it up.
it's always funny hearing that because you think like a film with animatronics would cost a lot, but
Yeah,
probably not.
I think it's because the animatronics are they're advanced, but they're not doing stuff like King Kong in the 76 movie or something like that. They're doing like here's an animatronic that would be at a pizza place, right? So they
Yeah,
can be more limited movement,
I
and
think it
their
helps.
eyes are like crazy because you just have to move the eyelids, right? So they're not as like
Yeah,
complicated as like Grogu or like the Gorn on Strange New Worlds. So
I think it helps. I think it helps that the
yeah,
set, besides the Fazbear locations, it's all just like city or just
yeah.
town, house, school.
Also, like, there's two Fazbear locations, and I was confused for a minute because I was just like, I thought they were the same place at the beginning of the movie, and I think it's because they reused. I think they redressed the sets. I think they didn't build an entirely separate set for the other location, but yeah, that was kind of like I think that's good. That was good. Honestly, it's a good review for what we can say without saying spoilers. Um, if you like the first movie and you're not a fan of the games, go in cautiously to this one. But if you love the games, you'll enjoy it. There's stuff in the movie that you'll enjoy for sure. So
Well, yeah, if you're a fan like me of the series, there's gonna be something to enjoy. But the writing, I think, is one of those. I think the writing is a bit weaker.
yeah,
It's the I think the biggest criticism I have of
my
the
my
film.
biggest problem is the lack of an emotional core because I just
Hmm.
sat there not caring about anything, whereas I was pretty invested in the first movie. You know, like I just felt I was like,
Hmm.
if you like, and that's I had the same exact issue with the Super Mario Brothers movie. Is I was just like, stuff's happening, and I played Mario games, so I understand what this stuff is, but like none of it has any emotional beat. It doesn't have any like emotional center to it, so I just kind of just sit there. I'm like, I
Hmm.
don't really care what's happening. Like,
Yeah,
when you have a, especially when you have a horror movie, if you're not invested in any of the characters living or dying, it takes all the tension out.
yeah, definitely.
So I think that covers us on that. Let's get to the news. We got some news, and it's funny because the news is basically going to revolve around Netflix, Paramount, and Warner Brothers today, including the other news topics. What a surprise! What a weird day. All right. Here's our one and only Blu-ray news, and it's from Paramount.
Oh God, no, no.
What timing? Star Trek Strange New Worlds is coming out on 4K Blu-ray and Blu-ray, season 3 is on March 3rd. There will be bonus features included, including gag reels, VFX features, and extended and deleted scenes. Um, and we are getting what looks like, I think what's happening is we're getting a standard edition Blu-ray and a Steelbook edition 4K, and that's it. Like, there's no other editions of it, which is totally fine for me. It's we're in an age where it's good we're even getting it.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna be complaining too much now. That being said, we are
Yeah.
getting. I think they're either stickers or magnets. Four stickers and magnets come with it, which is kind of nice. They did this with season 2, where it came with like magnetic alternate covers, um, and that kind of made it like a little bit more premium. So I think this is a
I know-
beautiful
Actually,
steelbook, though.
actually, speaking of stuff that the price is not in home media, I think we have Demon Slayer Infinity Castle yet on Blu-ray, home media yet. Honestly,
Oh yeah, but that's also because like you have to wait for Aniplex to release it in Japan, which they
yeah,
won't do till
yeah.
sometime next year, and then after that, then they get to release it over here.
Yeah, it's one of
um,
the things where like movies release so fast at home media. They remember like, oh right, that's a
Chain
Japanese film,
Chainsaw
anime.
Chainsaw Man Rize arc though hits digital tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I think that's why I
Yeah,
think that's why I was like, huh. I guess because Crunchyroll is more in control of that because that's like all like
yeah,
on Sony and everything like that.
yeah. It's all under Sony, whereas like I mean Aniplex is also part. It's just it's different licensing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
anyways, this looks great. I want to get it. I already ordered it. I'm buying the
There's some
seasons for that 'cause who knows if we'll ever get a complete set.
some very bisexual lighting in the interior of that case I saw
Very
there.
bisexual lighting in the interior case, which is funny because it's probably the straightest Star Trek show out of all the recent ones. Um,
Like, yeah, I thought Star Trek was the origin of all the gay shipping.
it is, yes, but like legitimately, I think that Strange New Worlds, like Discovery and Lower Decks and Picard, all had a lot more LGBTQ rep than than Strange New Worlds has had. Which is not to say that's bad on Strange New Worlds' part. It's just that is a difference that people have noticed. Um, I still enjoy Strange New Worlds that at that point, but yeah, Star Trek's the origin of the gay ships, and Spock is played completely heterosexual. It's very funny. Um, anyways, I'm gonna get these news stories up. We have some comic book news, which first of all, actually none of these involve Warner Brothers, surprisingly.
It's all Marvel, all right.
Pretty much,
No, so I
except
know
it's
no, it's
manga.
actually no, it's manga. It's two mangas, one Marvel, one indie.
Yep. Okay, so first up, in the continuing saga of Tojima wants to be a common writer drinking Futo PI's proverbial milkshake, the
Oh yeah,
manga's
because there's
gotten
a
licensed by Titan.
yeah, because season 2 got announced. So actually, I heard it's less season 2 and more core 2 because it's actually a full 26 episode production. I
Yes,
understand now.
and from what I understand, it's just taking a break and then it'll come back.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is what Spy Family did and such like that. But so this is great though, and I think I heard Titans gotten better. I think because I think when Kuga that was like their first
Yeah, it was their first ever
manga.
manga, and I've heard they've gotten better, so I'm not like super concerned.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it just in our sphere, people only know them from the Kuga manga, but like from what I
yep.
hear, all the other mangas they publish is fine. So I think we don't have to worry about that. So you if you really like the anime, here's the manga coming out next year, I imagine.
Yeah,
I
I think it
imagine.
said next year. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting because the thing is, it's funny about it's just the difference between where Toei was for the 50th anniversary of Kamen Rider, where they are now with right because like with Fudo Pi, it was a sequel to
Well,
Double, but we didn't get Double. It wasn't dubbed. It didn't get its manga released. And they didn't even release the movie with any fanfare, right? But with Tojima, it
mhm.
gets a simul-dub, it's manga released, and while Tojima is not a continuation of the Showa writers, all the Showa writers it references are officially licensed in North America.
Yeah, it's this is even though it's not like this is just a licensing the likenesses and stuff like that for writer, but it's just it's the closest thing we have gotten to that pretty much. It's
Yeah,
like for it's like the I guess the Kiba Ranger. Actually, well, I mean the show is pretty much the Kiba Ranger per writer,
pretty much.
but it's just the Kiba Ranger per writer, just without Toei being fully involved. It just they just license out the
Yeah.
characters in this case scenario
Mr.
and
Duke says
such.
actually perfectly timed. It is, because I think Kamen Rider's having a moment and they're capitalizing on it. And I think it was
I mean,
the thing about the show is that I think that it's bringing a lot of attention to Kamen Rider because I
it's
don't
good.
know, they put Kamen Rider in the title.
I find it interesting that I feel like I haven't really took advantage of it. I mean, because they can't like literally say because of licensing, but like it's you think they will at least have a wink, like post a tackle or stronger or a V3 or Ichigo thing once in a while. You think that's to wink, nudge, nudge at the Tojima fans and such like because
Yeah.
the show has been a hit. I'm actually really surprised how much the show has been a hit.
I'm
Honestly,
surprised too, because I thought it was gonna be like entirely
I
fan
would be like
service and nobody would
I
get
know
it.
it'd be I know it'd be like a very much niche thing, but I think the
Yeah.
show I think what else is the show itself does go into detail about why these characters are important,
Yeah,
and that's why.
you don't really have to have seen Showa Rider. I just realized it still says Blu-ray. You don't really had to have seen Showa Rider to get it because what they'll do is they'll be like, like Tojima will be like, I was inspired when I watched this episode where Kamen Rider punched the Spider-Man in the face, and then they'll show you an animated scene from the Showa episode, like recreated in the show, and it's like him watching the TV, and it'll show you the scene, and then you'll be like, oh, that's the scene they're referencing. Or like when stuff happens with Tackle, they'll bring up the scene. And I think that's what kind of makes it work is that if you've never seen it, they show you why it's important and why it's important to the character. And
How
so
much I
it
do,
pulls
how much
you
I
in.
do like, how much I do like for the PI, you really do need to see double to really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, that you have to because like it's a sequel to Double, so it's going to explain everything to Tokime, but it's all explaining, not showing. It's a lot of telling, not
Hmm.
showing. Um,
Yeah.
So yeah, I know it's. I think Tojima's doing a much better job at bringing people in. Even if I cannot understand for the life of me why every modern Showa related Kamen Rider production thinks V3 was a dick.
Here's the thing,
I don't
I'm
get
watching.
it.
You know what? Here's the thing. I'm curious because I watched the dub, and I
Yeah,
think for me, I don't mind it because it's Chris Hackney who's playing the V3XP in the show.
right.
Goes so over the top with performance. I think it's just funny to me.
My
Like
my issue is that it's Kamen Rider the Next. It's every Tyson movie. It's now this. It's like what happened to V3 as a character where he got flanderized as
yeah,
being like an
like
asshole? Because
I
there's
still need to
none
see
of that
V.
in his show. He's like cocky, but that's it. But like every adaptation since is just like, yeah, he was the one that was a dick, and I'm like,
Yeah.
where are you all getting this from?
Yeah, it's weird. Like it's been a while since I've seen V3, so I don't remember much about V3. But like,
Yeah.
I think for me, I'm not sure if the sub makes it a lot more dickish, but I think Chris Hackney's performance in English dub makes it so
I mean,
goddamn
it's not
funny
even the
that
sub or it's not even the dialogue. It's the literal storyline with his brother where I'm like, why are
yeah.
you this awful?
Yeah, I know definitely. I think it's like I think for me, I think for me, I don't mind it because
Yeah.
it's the show is so over the top.
It doesn't bother
Because
me in this show as much as it just bothers me as a generalized
yeah,
thing with
because
Toei.
this was actually V3. Yeah, these are not the characters. These
Yeah.
are just super crazy people that love these characters so much.
Yeah. And maybe that's the commentary. Maybe it's like the V3 guys, like, I'm such a big fan of V3, but doesn't understand the character at all. Like,
Which probably is the joke,
actually,
honestly.
that probably is it now I'm thinking about it. Because yeah, Mr. Yugi says, for what it's worth, when I went to V3 in the original show, he seemed a little colder than Ichigo Nigo. Yes, he is colder because his entire family gets murdered in front of him in the first episode. But the difference between, like, he's cold and cut off from people and he's an asshole to everybody around him is pretty stark. And for some reason, I think ever since Kamen Rider the Next, everyone's like, yeah, he was the asshole of the group. And I'm like, wait, watch the show. This is not the case.
That thing. I think it's specifically. I think when it's that Joe character, I don't. I do agree. But when
Yeah.
it's just like this crazy fanboy, that one, like, that one I can play because he's just nuts.
He's nuts. He's like the Twitter trolls that are like, Wolverine's my favorite character, and then they talk about how they hate minorities. And I'm like, you don't realize that
No,
Wolverine is the biggest simp for Japanese women to ever exist.
no, definitely. No, I mean, Pokemon and him are just dick. They're just pretty much having a giant bigger dick
Yes.
contest practically.
Yep. All right. Speaking of manga, Viz Media is reprinting all the volumes of Doctor Slump, which is
Yay!
fantastic. That took a long time. So,
I'm really glad.
1 to 8 is available at the distribution level, so those will be getting out to stores soon. Volume 9 will be coming out on the 12th, and then every week after that, 10 to 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, scheduled all the way through the beginning of February, and then 17 to 18 will be coming after that. So,
I kind
that's
of
good.
wish they did a big. I kind of wish they did a box set while also doing this. Also, just so
Yes.
if you want to buy them all, you can.
It's weird. They
But
haven't done any new box sets in a minute. Like, you think they would have done this? Yu Yu
the latest,
Hakusho also doesn't have a box set.
the latest one I think I saw was Hell Paradise, but that's it. But like,
Yeah.
I hope this means something for Viz releasing older series. Like, I would love to buy the Yu-Gi-Oh manga in
Mhm.
non-3-in-1 form because I don't want to have Bible paper.
Yes, seriously. I'm not buying the 3-in-1s for those. I'm glad this is
I will
happening, though,
because
for sure.
yeah, because I would love to read the original Yu-Gi-Oh mangas because it's even though they tell the same story, the anime is
They're
a card game
very
anime.
different. They're very
The
different in
anime,
the
the
end.
Duel Monster anime is a card game anime first, where the manga is a shonen manga
Yeah.
first, and stuff like that.
And then, like, even the part that gets adapted pretty directly is very different. Like, I've read it, along, Shonen Jump magazine. It's a very different story than the anime, and I wish it was in a better form.
Pegasus is dead in the
Yeah.
manga.
People don't take it. People they almost take it a little bit for granted how close Dragon Ball's adaptation is compared to other animes. Like, Dragon Balls is like one of the closest ones I've seen.
Isn't Hitman Reborn getting a new anime? I heard. Or was that?
Supposedly they okay. It's been like there's been a rumor mill for a decade that Hitman Reborn's getting a new anime, but they Pony Canyon registered a web address for it, so it's probably actually happening now. And it actually got me off my ass, and I started watching the original anime because I've had the Discotek Blu-rays for like a year. So I was like, I'm just gonna start the original anime because I need to get that watched before the new one. I'm very curious how that's gonna go because that's a 409 chapter manga. And I don't know how long a show can get a episode runtime anymore.
One of those things where like like sadly Hitman Reborn doesn't get talked about much. That lasts long. That's
Yeah.
like a lot. That's like
It lasts
I forget how many
long, but like it never hit globally that well because like Viz never finished publishing the manga. They couldn't get the anime rights.
It's not.
It was a whole
It's
thing.
not. It's yeah. It's not like nowadays where like it's not like nowadays where like you have to show and jump app and such like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even on the Shonen Jump app because they never finished it, and so their license dropped. But maybe they'll relicense the manga if there's a new anime. That would be cool.
I hope that. I hope that's the case.
Yeah.
It always weirds me. It always, or who knows? Maybe like maybe like Seven Seas picks up the rights. It's always weird when I see a Shonen Jump specifically Jump like Shonen Jump magazine series get published by not Viz. So like, how do you get this?
Yep. Oh yeah, Muteki said they be warned that Blu-rays have filler and changed some stuff in the manga omitted. I noticed that, like, because I read the first like 5 or 6 volumes of the manga, and so I'm watching these episodes and I'm like, that's not how they introduced Yamamoto in the manga. Like they completely shifted around stuff, and it's kind of like its own separate thing, which I don't mind. You know, I don't
that
mind.
shows how much it
Yeah.
shows how much adaptation has manga adaptation has really
Hmm.
changed nowadays. Where like a lot, because that's the thing. Because usually nowadays they wait at least a manga to get like 100 chapters in before they greenlight
Yeah.
anime. Where back then it's like usually like they greenlight anime near like chapter 20 sometimes or
Hmm.
something. Like as soon as they know it's a big hit, they'll adapt. They'll like go like greenlight the anime now, scenario like that.
And then nowadays it's like on this whole seasonal schedule, and you can see that even shows like One Piece are now switching from the traditional format to seasonal because that's where the industry is.
Mhm.
All right. Imperial Guardians. So we've been going through. They've been doing this slow rollout of the new cosmic titles post Imperial, and here we have the one I was looking forward to the least, Imperial Guardians, because I hate the
Like
idea of it.
okay, because I haven't read Imperials yet. Yeah.
Yes.
So what? So what's
So
the
at the end of
context of?
Imperial, the Inhumans made a surprise appearance, which made the Marvel Legends coming out this year very funny. Um, the Inhumans were like, "We're back," and they took over. And they set up like at the end of it that like they're not technically the Guardians of the Galaxy, but like basically a Guardians of the Galaxy team working for Maximus the Mad. And I'm like, look, Black Bolt, you gotta stop forgiving your crazy ass brother. He's never gonna stop being a jerk. He has proven
I could.
decade after
I
decade that he is going
what's
to
the si-
betray you. He's literally like written to be Judas. Okay, like
what what's the sign language version of I can six him?
I don't know what it is, but it's letting Maximus back into the royal family again and again and again. And now like Maximus gets his own Guardians team. That's why they're all in gray and silver, because those are Maximus's
Oh,
colors.
okay. I
Um,
actually like besides like God of the Ghost Ray because I just know attached to the character. Like I actually really like this lineup a lot.
it's not a
Like
bad lineup.
we
I
got
think
Gamora, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Amadeus Show, Darkhawk, and my girl Carol. And like
yes,
Carol's in it looks like
Carol looking so much like Donna Troy.
yeah, oh yeah, you're right. With the silver, you're right. But like, I see Carol. It's one of those like, the like I see Carol like I might want to check this out.
Yeah.
Seriously, that.
The thing that got me
Though,
on board though was seeing written by Dan Abnett, because
yeah, yeah,
that's one of Abnett and Lanning's Guardians run was one of the best runs. So now I'm in on it. I'm in on it because you got Dan
so
Abnett.
I would say because Honky is I'm not sure it's in one of the covers, but doing the weird preschool synergy again
Yes,
here,
why is Iron Hulk here?
like like why? Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna say this because
MCU
I'm a
synergy, I understand. Rival
preschool synergy.
synergy, I
Yeah,
understand. Preschool show
preschool show.
synergy, excuse me, who do you think that's for?
What these preschoolers can't read these comics, so usually they're like
Preschool
yeah.
shouldn't read these comics.
Yeah. So like, why are you synergy with the preschool show? Sure, like first spin, which I despise, with the burning sons of the earth,
Yes.
them using that in the comic, and now Iron Hulk from Iron Man is also friends. Like, what's the synergy? What's the mark? Like,
I
what's
want to
the
know what the thought process is here, right? Like,
what's the phrase? Like, it's not cross market, but like, what's like the like what what kind of algorithm did they use to go like, oh yes, the people who like that show just came out this year. The kids are still little
yeah,
kids. They don't. At least Amazing Spidey's Amazing Friends came out like years ago. At this
it's on
point,
its
where
like fourth season, right?
yeah, so
Yeah.
like I can sort of believe a kid in his like that a kid growing up with Spidey's Amazing Friends being like
Hmm.
his like what 10 at the very least picking up a Marvel comic, but like that shit. The Iron Man one just came out this year.
Yep. Blade Raider says Maximus the Mad. I shouldn't be surprised as a real character. Okay, look, the Inhumans, Jack Kirby, one of Jack Kirby's best creations, but also his most unserious. Never forget that Black Bolt's real name is Blackagar Boltagon. Just
Forgot that.
yes. Also, never forget that Medusa in Greek mythology is a Gorgon, but she's named Medusa and has nothing to do with that. But she's rescued in the comics by Gorgon, who's a satyr, not a Gorgon.
I want to see Black Bolt's license. I want to see Black Bolt's license, like driver's license now with that with that full name.
Flackagar Boltagon. I love when they drop that in Multiverse of Madness, just super casual, and I was just like, comic books.
How long? I wonder how many takes they had to say that line.
I
Say
gotta
that
say, I
name.
imagine it took a few because it's kind of a tongue twister if you're not like up on your Kirby.
Was it was it Black the Gun? Yeah, I can't.
Blackagar Boltagon.
Black the Gun. Black the Gun. Boltagon. Black the Gun.
King of the Inhumans, leader of the royal family of Atalan, Blackagar Boltagon, also known as Black Bolt. it's I love the Inhumans, guys. I'm so happy I have figures of them.
Again, the Inhumans again. I think everyone says the Inhumans are great when they aren't being discounted X-Men.
Exactly. Blader just said Jack Kirby was the king for a reason. Only he could get away with all that. Exactly. Um, but yeah, I think this team is interesting. Now, from a premise standpoint, I think Dan Abbott's going to do something cool. It was kind of reminding me of yeah, Veloquence. Yeah, they really don't do continuity reboots at Marvel. They do fresh starts every once in a while. They like rebrand everything, but they haven't done that since Fresh Start, like 4 years ago. They reboot titles all the time though. You can just jump in at any number one, and you'll just have the same experience as if it was a continuity reboot. It's just that's how Marvel is. Um, so the thing I find interesting is that it's like, all right, here's a team led by Maximus the Mad. It kind of reminded me of during Krakoa, Mr. Sinister had a team of mutants, and they were just all the
Oh,
screw
yeah,
ups.
yeah.
They were just all the screw ups. It was like Havoc and Nanny and Orphan Maker, and I think Quanon Psylocke and Grey Crow, and it was just like all these people that were like, well, we could throw you in
Look,
jail for what you did, but we feel like you could serve a better purpose here.
look at this team and
Little
really just
Secret
gonna feel
Six
like
like.
I was saying this is gonna be just Team Mom Carol, and I'm all for it for this team.
Yeah, and so I kind of like, part of me was like, if you're gonna do a team under Maximus the Mad, maybe you should just like throw all the screw ups in here. Like Darkhawk and Cosmic Ghost Rider and Gamora make the most sense. But maybe Amadeus and Carol are gonna be here as like the Deadshot and Black or Bronze Tiger of like the Ostrander Suicide Squad. It's like these
Yeah.
two are holding it all together. I'm excited though because Dan Abnett. That's the best thing going for it as well. But I think it should be interesting. Now, the question still remains, is Nova Centurion, Planet She-Hulk, and Imperial Guardians going to last more than 10 issues?
That's the thing with Marvel, isn't it?
It is.
Now.
Because, like, I'm kind of not, I don't know. Black Panther Intergalactic Empire is only like 4 issues because the writers got too many commitments. So it's like, at least they're going in and they're like, it's a miniseries. And we still don't know what's going
Yeah,
on with Exiles, but
I mean,
yeah.
my Adulthood Years ending, I have a lot of gaps in my pull list going
Yep.
forward. So like,
I've
yeah,
been filling it
my
with these cosmic titles, but I want the cosmic stuff to survive. That's the only reason.
I might, yeah, that's it. I might pull this just because Carol's in it.
Yeah. Blader just said, do you like Cosmic Ghost Rider yet? I like him in Marvel Cosmic Invasion.
Yeah, I say this. I say Carol, but I'm also a big fan of Darkhawk.
Yeah.
He's like the club I don't know much about, but yet I just like him.
Yeah, he's fun. I like Darkhawk. I read Kyle Higgins did a Darkhawk series that was pretty good.
Darkhawk's a character
Yeah.
I haven't read that much about, but like something about him just like I like you. I don't know why. It's
Yeah.
like
And I'm
I
glad
like
he's
him
in
some.
cosmic stuff again. 'Cause it's always weird when he's like part of Earth teams. I'm like, you're supposed
Was
to be like a
he?
space bird.
He was like an Avenger for a while. I remember,
He was an
right?
Avenger. He was in New Warriors. Like Ace said, I just think he's neat. I think it's the
Yeah.
team of. I just think this is neat.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, pretty much.
yep. In sad news, Power Rangers is dead again. Melissa Flores confirmed that.
Sentai told that Power Rangers was still fine. And it's like I'm not going that well.
Yeah.
I'm taking that with me.
So there was what was it, the solicitation for 15 was like the penultimate chapter. I'm like, yeah, we heard that with issue 11. But Melissa, I think I know Zeltrax asked her as well. But so people ask her like, is it ending? And yeah, can confirm Power Rangers Prime ends with issue 16. She had plans for like 24 issues at one point. This sucks because it just got going. Like issue 12 was so fantastic that I was like, I can't wait to see the next 12 issues, and we get 4 more.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. How you feel about Prime? Because I still haven't. I've been picking it up. Is in my pull. I just haven't got the time to read it. I must have just been supporting it just to help.
It's
support
been a slow burn. It was a slow burn for the first like I think 8 issues. It was a bit of a slow burn, but that was because it was trying to establish the characters and building up everything and the new world and all that.
Yeah, they needed. Yeah, that's always kind of problem. Because at least with the Boom Comic knows its own universe. It kind of if you know about Mighty Morphin, you have a good idea what this world is. And
yeah.
So but since it's a
that's why they were able to do like Lord Draken by like issue 10. Whereas like with this, it's like, yeah, you have to establish all these characters. All of them are new. 2 of them, Lauren and Orion, are multiverse variants of characters we know. But the other 4 members on the team, or the other Yeah, the other 3 members on the team are new characters, so they need to have their own development and establishment. And then Rita joins the team. She's the 6th, and so you have the alternate Rita. And I think the book's great, but, you know, it is a bit of a slow burn, so, like, reading it monthly, it was like, "Ah, man," but, like, reading it in trade, I imagine, goes a lot better. And then issues 9 through 12, everything started escalating and got really interesting, and, you know, there was a pivot. There was a pivot point where it stopped, like, Lauren was, like, the main character for a bit, but then Melissa pivoted and started making Rita the main character, like, around issue 6, and that's when the book started taking off, because then you had girl boss Rita just, like,
I'm
going
about to say
around and
I
calling
did.
everyone a bitch,
Uh,
and it was
I would
fantastic.
say I would say it was really funny seeing people really down bad for Prime Rita.
Oh my god, it's because it's not just the way she looks; it's her personality. Like, there's like, you know, there's a whole like conflict with the Eltarians, and there's like this Eltarian. She's like a hard ass, and she's like, "I'm here to settle the score." And Rita's like, "Are you here to have a conversation, or are you gonna have a fight? Because I know you're losing the fight."
Mhm.
It's just like I love Prime Rita. So it's kind of a bummer that it's ending so soon. That being said, you could throw all 16 issues in the VR Troopers miniseries into a single deluxe hardcover.
Mm.
So, but I'm
Yeah,
bummed because I wish this could
yeah.
have gotten to go on farther.
I think a lot of people were too hard on it because I presume most of them didn't read it because I
Yes,
legitimately thought 'cause I
there
thought
was a lot of
you
Power
know
Rangers
I
fans that complained about this comic simply off the covers and not actually reading the comic.
yeah even though like what's wrong with legitimately think the costumes and the suits in Prime are like some of the best suits,
They look
the
great.
original suits.
I love them.
And also really like the Zords when I saw them.
Yeah.
Like yeah, it just I did yeah. Like people were just too hard because it's Mighty Morphin again. You
When
know, it
it
wasn't.
wasn't like the only Mighty Morphin characters in the book were Bulk and Rita.
Mhm.
Everybody else is from other seasons or completely brand new for the comic.
Yeah, I think Prime was a good example of Power Rangers do. Like, I know the thing about the Power Rangers can never survive with Sentai. I think Prime is a good example that yeah, it can
Yeah.
if it was given a chance. Yeah,
I
it
think I
totally
think the
can.
comic market's rough right now, and I think that people didn't give it a chance, and that's a big bummer.
Yeah, and
Um,
sadly, yeah, that's the thing. I'm surprised
yeah.
it's not any because the fact that it doesn't have Mighty Morphin. I honestly wonder is like if it's one of the things where it's like with Mighty Morphin. Like, I'm curious, is it have to be the recognizable suits or just the name alone is what picks
I wonder
compels
because
casuals to
those
pick it
one
up?
shots, those Mighty Morphin Power Rangers one shots, never hit any sales charts. I've been checking. They
Yeah.
didn't hit any of the top selling books. So I don't know what it'll take. Also, I don't know what it'll take at this point. I think they have to take the comics on a break now because it's like, okay, we tried doing a Mighty Morphin thing. We tried doing the continuation. We tried doing new stuff within a Mighty Morphin umbrella. We tried doing a completely brand new universe, and then we did one Mighty Morphin one shots. Like none of it's clicking, and I think it's just like, yep, I think it's just time to put them on break for now. They had a
I
good
think
run, 10 years, right? You had 10 years of Boom Power Rangers comics every single month. So I think it's just probably time to take a break.
yeah, and that's not a bad thing. And I think right now, especially when we
And
get
then
to the
put
other
the rest
news.
out in deluxe hardcover before you while you're on a break. Because like, my god,
Yeah, I think yeah, it's good to have. I think it's good to have the comics to break, take a rest. I think
yeah.
Melissa's been writing for what? I think she's been nonstop writing for a while now.
She's
I
been
think it's
writing
good for her
since
to.
Mighty Morphin 100, and
So I think
that's
she. I
50.
think having her
Uh,
take a
yeah,
yeah. I think having her take a break from at least Power Rangers is pretty good. I think it's good for her.
yeah.
Is welcome wheels.
And
I hope
and
she
as the
does.
current Ninja Turtles comics will tell you, sales wise, and the fact they're already changing writers after 12 issues, and they've had to cancel 2 books already. You, the Ninja Turtles comics also needed a break, and they're on that now. I think they're not on it now, but they tried restarting right away, and it also has not been working out for them.
Yeah,
Some of these things
you need
cannot be evergreen. It's just how it is.
Yeah, unless like especially when you're like sporadic, because I think they were always monthly. It's like I
Yeah,
think with like, I think with Sonic, it's because IEW is weird with their distribution. But it's like, Sonic usually has like I remember after the Misadventures arc, they took that 4 month break in the main book with the Fang the Hunter miniseries, and it came back with the Phantom Rider arc, and I think it was a good break for the book to
yeah.
have for the writers to recharge and stuff like that. So like breaks on that are good for these big ongoing series. So yeah, I hope Melissa can come because doesn't Melissa have a Masseyverse book, right?
She did, but she hasn't done anything with Dead Lucky in a while because she
Uh,
was busy with Power Rangers and everything else.
I
So
hope hope she can come back to that. Honestly, to go back to
It would be
that.
nice
that
because we got Infernal Girl Red book 2 just started, but we've only had 2 Massiverse books for a hot minute now. I would like a third one.
Are they? Is Master
Supposedly, Melissa's like done with Power Rangers. She said for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
I won't be surprised.
Because I think Boom's done with Power Rangers for his foreseeable future at this point.
Because people even asked her, is she done? And she was like, yeah, I'm done for now. Like, unless Boom wants me back.
I think that's fine. She had a really good run.
I think she had a longer run than Kyle Higgins.
I mean, she was practically like Ian Flynn for Power Rangers for a good while now. So I think it's good for her to take a break from the brand, just to recharge and do her own stuff.
Well, anyways, we got more news to get to, so I'm going to move us along here to the toy news. Toy news. McFarlane finally is making Black Canary. My God, Todd. We have been over this. Why did it take freaking 6 years?
I mean, hey, at least we were able to get her out before
I said this a few weeks ago, right? I said if you don't make a Black Canary before this line ends, I'm gonna be so mad and I'll never let it go. So hey, okay, we heard message received apparently.
I mean, also Vigilante, my boy
Vigilante,
here.
Cowboy Vigilante. Freddie Freeman's all right. The Joker. Let's talk about the Joker as well. The Joker is a Jack Nicholson inspired Joker.
Because if you don't know, the Jack Nicholson estate's stupid expensive.
Yes, to get his likeness, you have to sell something like $1,000 statue. You cannot make a McFarlane figure relatively, what 30? What are these 35 for the collector figures? You can't make a $35 McFarlane figure with Jack Nicholson's license. That being said, we have plenty of comic art that we can pull from to get us close enough to get us.
Oh, it's Joker, it's like 66 Batgirl, where it's based off the comic.
Exactly, yeah. 66 Batgirl, Yvonne Craig's
For a guy who got his start in Roger Corman movies, he became such an ass. No, I like Jack Nicholson, but no, seriously, he became an ass.
Yeah,
I still love that. Like with the Spin Masters retro figures, their likenesses are so bad that the baby likenesses
exactly
they're bad on purpose.
I mean, have you seen their Jor-El for the Superman ones? Like that does not look like Brando, but it looks enough like Jor-El.
I love people. I like people calling they're not Gene Hackman, just Kingpin.
Yes.
For their retro Superman figures. For the Black Canary, you think that's gonna be real stockings like the Harley Quinn,
probably
Margot Robbie?
Because I think Zatanna's going to be the same way. I think they use the crowdfund to get the stocking design done, and now they can just duplicate it over to Zatanna and Black Canary.
I would be excited for Freddy, but like Page Puncher Zan was like. I think I heard the distribution was like horrible for that figure because barely anybody got that figure from what I heard.
Yeah, did they even make Mary?
No, because the only Shazam family we had gotten is just Shazam. We got Rebirth. It was Rebirth Shazam, Donna DJ Shazam, and the movie stuff, and that's it. So this is our first ever Shazam family figure we're getting post Billy.
I will say for me, Black Canary and 89 Joker were like my last check boxes. Like I'm like, and but now I need a 66 Robin because they made the Batmobile. If they hadn't made the Batmobile, so if we get a 66 Robin, like everything else is gravy for me at this point because
here's the thing.
Because I'm not getting Aztec, but anyway.
Oh, here's the thing. They needed one more figure for the movies.
Yes.
Since they matched Shrek, we need Bob. We can't. Yeah, Shrek. We need Bob.
I was gonna say Bane, but yeah, Bob would be good.
Wait, Bob.
The Goon.
Bob again?
The Goon.
Joker's number one. Joker's number one.
You're my number one guy. Shoots him.
I totally keep forgetting Bane was in Batman and Robin. So that's why I keep forgetting to mention.
Like
I
Bob and Bane
when you meant Bob at. I couldn't remember Max Shrek's son, and I was like,
"Oh, that's Chip.
Zangief?
That's Chip."
Yeah,
We need Pee Wee Herman for returns also.
I mean, technically, we need him for Gotham because he had more screen time there.
Oh, was Paul Rubens in Gotham?
Yeah, they brought Paul Rubens back, and he played the Penguin's father again, but for Gotham.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's so fun because there's a metatextual level of like, why is Gotham's Penguin so campy and funny? And it's because his parents in that show are Carol Kane and Paul Rubens. It's brilliant. Anyways, this is exciting news. That's the important part. Now give me a 66 Robin. All right, Marvel. Marvel gave us this badass looking lizard.
So yeah, this is a re-release / remold of the Build-A-Figure lizard, just more or less because I think the Build-A-Figure was more like monster lizard. This is more
Yes.
like just. This is like this nice in between because I like this is like I like my lizard. He's definitely bigger. He's not just he's bigger, but he's
not just
kaiju.
dude with a lizard head. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's in just kaiju also. This is a nice middle, which I like.
Yeah, I like him a lot, and he's Amazon exclusive.
Yep.
Yep. Then we got our A-level Amazing Spider-Man from No Way Home that now only comes with 2 hands. Every time they put this figure out, he has less accessories.
It's a shame because it's kind of a shame because this is my favorite version because I never like how dark the colors were with the previous two Legends. I honestly, I'm not sure you guys like one how he looks the suit, but the bright color just look better to me personally. It's like this one I actually might pick up because like I like Andrew because Andrew's my favorite. I just want it's just by himself. No Toby.
Yeah,
just Andrew.
Does this confirm that Tobey Maguire is going to be in an Avengers movie soon?
No,
doesn't confirm shit. Hasbro doesn't know anything.
Hey, so I was going to try to say something when you guys were talking about Lizard, but you jumped too quick.
Sorry.
Oh, what was it?
I was trying to say to you, what I told Soundout a couple of days ago is when it first got revealed, I was like, yo, so technically you could sort of say this is Spider-Man the Animated Series design.
Oh yeah,
only because the beast animal dinosaur like looking head is how a lot of the Toy Biz toy structured his look for a lot of the action figures that came out during like
you're right.
other lines like
the raptor head,
Spider-Man. Yeah, like because the thing is that line. Like I think if you get Spider-Man the Animated Series when it's the regular, you know, like the retro carded backs, they looked more like the cartoons per se with weird wobbly proportions. And when you'd get like any of the, you know, Toy Biz tangent like lines like Aqua Fighters,
Web Slashers,
Web Warriors, yeah, like freaking Toe Cable Buddies, like there's this version of Lizard
I love how Toe Cable Buddies isn't a real subline, but it sounds like one.
I know, right?
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like with all the gimmicks that they had, I can't remember their names, but it was just like
Waterworks lasted 8 years.
Zipline.
Was it Water Wars? Was that one?
Water Wars.
Spider Wars.
Water Wars and Waterworks were separate lines.
Remember Spider Wars too?
Yes.
Where, like, they were like, let's throw out Maximum Carnage characters.
What was it? X-Men Secret Weapon was the sublines for X-Men?
Weapon. Monster Armor was another one. It's the only time.
The
only time we got Mystique was in Monster Armor.
Yep.
All right. Anyways, Spider-Man. Then we got Red She-Hulk, which is using the Marvel Now She-Hulk body, which I think is perfect.
It works.
Yeah,
it works in like early appearance She-Hulk before she got the leather suit. Because like when she first came out, she was just Betty wearing ripped jeans and ripped tube top. Like it was just like
I do wish they took the arms from the new She-Hulk because she's still single jointed here.
I wonder if that was like a compatibility issue with the torso. And you know, the torso's new. The torso's new, so that's not it.
It usually is because it's usually how they shape the peg.
Oh,
it's always the peg shape.
Why size? Is she a ninja? Yeah, she's a ninja.
I hope they
I forget where she got the psi from.
I forget too. It's been a long time since
I
read a comic.
I guess I haven't read much because I know it is Betty Ross, but I haven't read much stuff with her as Red She-Hulk. So like when I saw the size, like she has those.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I remember her having them. I just don't remember why she had them. Like, did she hang out with Elektra for a bit?
No, if I recall, when Red She-Hulk debuted, there was the whole point of who is Red She-Hulk and the Red Hulk and that. And I remember she just like acquired a psi, and I don't know if it was because she jumped Elektra or if she jumped somebody else with a psi. Because I remember like Red She-Hulk and Red Hulk were on this freaking rampage of who is it? Who are these two new Hulks? I just remember like they didn't figure it out that it was Betty until like Thunderbolt Ross beat the crap out of her or something.
Yeah, because he didn't know either. He didn't know it was Betty.
I hope they do. I hope they do a better re-release of the Red Hulk mold because, or actually, they probably do a Max and Red Hulk at this point. I realize that because I heard they did. So there was a release during Brave New World, but I never found that must be like very
that figure. For some reason, every time they release Red Hulk, he's just like insanely hard to get.
Yeah, I don't have Red Hulk in my collection at all.
So referring to Red Hulk and She-Hulk's debut. That came out in like what 2006, 2007.
Yeah.
So the fact that I can remember a vague semblance of what happened in that storyline without having read it since it came out, shows like what the hell's going on. If I can remember enough details, I'm probably wrong.
I know
with a lot
sometimes
of
people clown on the Red Hulk era, but that was honestly the last time I was super invested in Hulk comics.
I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna lie,
maybe
that was the last time I was like super
was
invested
it,
until like
that was
Soundout and Project were like, you got to read this run like
Yeah.
5 years ago.
was that that's Ed McGuinness, right? That era
Yes.
for Hulk.
Ed
That's the
McGuinness is a
Hulk.
big part of that era.
That era like, it's super nostalgic for me because I never read the era. Just that era was so big that
Do
I
you
just
know
saw
why
it
that era
everywhere.
died?
Why?
Because the MCU movie flopped.
Oh yeah, that explains it. Oh, movie synergy.
Yep.
But like I think it goes because like the Red Hulk Build-A-Figure was like that was when I first discovered YouTube. That was like the wave everywhere was the Red Hulk back wave. So like that's how and so like that art style and McGinnis was just so ingrained to me with Hulk and such like that.
Blade Raider's got the best answer about the size. She clearly met a giant red turtle that can't stop throwing them. Yes.
If they do like a Mexican Red Hulk, I hope he comes with because I like Red Hulk a lot, but like I love when like Ross is like he's just a Hulk now, so he has the mustache and everything. Was it Avengers USA? Was that the
Avengers USA
series?
when he had
I want that. I want
US
like if they do a
Avengers.
Mexican Red US if they do a Red Hulk Mexican Red Hulk off the mustache head minigun. I want that.
He needs to have the vest. He needs to have the vest.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, I think it's kind of like, it's funny, the Red She-Hulk reveal was funny because it was like, who could it be? Oh, Red Hulk is Thunderbolt Ross. Red She-Hulk is Betty Ross. Like, it was a little bit of a, So, alright, and then for Star Wars fans, you get The Mandalorian from Season 1, now with a cloth cape, exclusive at Target.
He got a claw cake now. It's the same thing.
What if you get nothing though?
He also gets the knife that he didn't have before. That's kind of cool.
He can shoot people.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a funny story because because since it's December, a lot of YouTubers doing those advent calendar, daily advent calendar videos, and one month the ones I watched is UK, and they have one of the advent calendars is a survival one. And they pull out a switch knife, which is banned in the UK. So they had to dispose it after filming.
That's funny. Oh my god. Veloquent said, finally a Mandalorian figure. We've never had one of those before. Arctic Hiss. As promised, there is an Arctic recolor of the Hiss tank using the mold from the Haslab, and it is up for pre-order on Hasbro Pulse for $200, which is honestly like not terrible.
So it's missing with the light. It's like what it's missing the light and like the alternate bits, right? And
yeah, it doesn't come with any alternate accessories. It comes with the who's this guy? The Snow Viper. It comes with the Snow Viper with a couple different guns. But it's, they added a couple new details, but the new details are reused from other vehicles, and they took the light kit out. And so it's $200, and it's made to order, so if you want one, you got 27 days to do so.
It's a good way to release the Hiss tank. I think it's a really good move what they did.
I think it's smart. Also, the teases were, here's a foot pedal, and they're making Deep Six.
I love random scuba dude.
I like Deep Six. Deep Six is another one of those figures I'll actually buy because he's weird and different. He
kind of looks like the show. Remember the toy line was the Centurions? He looks like that.
He does look like a Centurion. That's true. Oh, I love Centurions.
Cartoon Network Power Hour.
Yeah.
I realize I put the same link in twice. It's okay. It's covered. I put the same link in 3 times. What is going on here?
I was looking. I was like, why am I keeping the same onslaught?
Why are all of them the same? I did not put in the same link 4 times. It just copied it wrong. Okay. Give me a minute, folks. I have to fix this up. Yeah, I screwed that up somehow. I swore oh, you know what I was doing? I was trying to cheat it. I was copying it from my phone to my notes, and that's where it got screwed up. That's what always happens. Like, it doesn't copy quite right. Also, I've noticed the copy paste on Mac has been messed up since the recent update. Like, it's not being accurate at all.
Apple.
Oh, Apple. All right. That's that. We need this. And we need this. And we need this. Okay. Here we go. All right. Watashi wa Takara Tomy. Takara Tomy showed us our A-level deluxes for next year, which is Orion Pax from Transformers 1 and Bumblebee from Devastation. And I've first got to say, Bumblebee looks like a new mold, but oh my god, this is the dumbest thing they could have done.
I say it looks too close to the 86 one, so it goes like, what's the point?
Like, legitimately, when the first images came out, I was like, I think even TJ Omega was also like, oh, they're finally releasing 86B in Japan. And then, like, we looked at it like, oh, wait, no, that's a different figure. The 86...
Wait, he's not in Japan?
No, he is. He is. We just assumed he wasn't because this looked like the same exact toy. Two things. First of all, 86B is shelf warming like crazy to the point where Walmart's putting him in bundle packs with another figure for $15.
Sold out, by the way, finally, I think.
Yeah. So that was the A-level for 2025, and then now this year, or next year, we're getting another A-level G1 Bumblebee that looks basically the same, except his guns are more hollow now. I don't even talk about...
He's still up for sale.
Oh, he's still up for sale. Okay, so they still have... Who's he in a bundle pack with?
I think it's like
the last one that you can get is Devastation Optimus.
Oh, okay.
The other shelf warmer.
The other shelf warmer. I think these guns... I don't talk about gaps that much, but I think these guns are horrendous. 86B was not... 86B was not 2024. Was he?
Yeah, he was. He was.
He's been haunting my shelves for like 2 years?
Yep. For me, it's DevCon for my target.
Yeah, my target also got a ton of Sunstreakers.
That too.
It's been 2024 was 86B? Are you kidding me?
I know.
That means he's been shelf warming longer than RC. Than Kingdom RC.
No. Here's the thing. RC, remember, it was Earthrise RC was shelf warming. Then they re-released RC and Kingdom and shelf warm again. I
don't want to say that whoever's in charge of deciding what the character lineups for Transformers doesn't know what they're doing, but it sure feels like it sometimes. Like, what do you mean? Like, the thing that always drives me insane is when they're like, let's put out Blitzwing twice in a row. He's shelf warming. Okay, now let's make the 86 one. Like, no, do something different. You can't keep selling the same toy every single year.
Same with Galvatron. Kingdom Galvatron was shelf warming. Released in Legacy. Legacy Galvatron shelf warming. Released in Series. Series Galvatron shelf warming.
I just saw the two Blitzwings next to each other, still on the store shelves. Like at Target. Like they can't get rid of them.
With the hollowness is like, come on, B's a small guy. He's not taking much plastic. Why are these guns so hollow? It's like, we must save every faction. We must save every faction of the
That's right. This year's A-level Bumblebee was the Transformers 1 version. I forgot he was an A-level, not just in a wave.
He was A-level? Like, that's weird because I don't see him. I see him.
It was A-level. It was A-level 1 Bumblebee. That's right. Now I remember. Last year, like 2024, was the A-level was 1 Optimus and G1 Bumblebee, and then. And then this year it was Devastation Optimus and
TF1B.
And TF1B. And
hey,
so
do you guys want to know what
they're just all? Oh my god, they're just alternating between G1 and Transformers 1 of the same two characters. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Wheels?
You want to know what's still in stock at Walmart right now?
What?
All right, so we got Tarantulas and Alita.
Okay, that makes sense.
Wheeljack and Cosmos.
My god. Cosmos
Wild
went from
Rider and
no one can find Cosmos to you can get them super cheap now. Yeah.
Wild Rider and Knockout.
Mm.
Solist and Dead End. Cybertron, Bumblebee, and Breakdown. G2.
Wow. K-Boy says our A-level figures are going to be Optimus and Bumblebee forever. Apparently. Because when the Transformers design team was like, oh, we're trying to make sure that there's not too much overlap of characters, they did not mean Optimus and Bumblebee.
I think this is kind of the problem with the brand right now.
Marvel's got the same problem because they keep doing a cap. But here's the thing: Marvel does an Iron Man or a Cap and a Spider-Man. And then they just shelf warm. Like A-level's not working the way they think.
Like I get the idea of A-level, but it's stocked too much.
Like A-level doesn't work because when you put 4 of a figure in a case, it's just going to sit around after a certain point.
Yeah, this guy goes into the. I'll tell you, man. Watching Earthspark finale really just kind of made me go reflect my feelings of the franchise. Because man, because everybody must go back to G1. Everybody must be status quo, and
Like, guys, I heard
in
it
the
was
same
so
tier.
dog shit. That TF hype guy was like, "What is this?"
No,
Yes.
yeah.
The
But like,
Transformers
that's
fandom crashed out on Twitter. Everybody that liked Earthspark was like, "This is terrible." Everybody that didn't like Earthspark was like, "This is terrible," and everybody that didn't watch it was like, "Should we not watch it?"
I did, yeah, it made me go like, yeah, it got to the point where it's like I finally delved into the binge of checking out Metal Carbot the series, and like I from just the 2 episodes I watched, I'm like, holy crap, this is just fun and cute and like
Yep.
revivulating because it's different. It's like why have been missing in Transformers?
Ghost
I do like
Trains brought up a off-topic question, but I've never addressed it, so I guess I should. I did get Monster Art Stardust Dragon. I have no intention to review it because I opened it to check the joints. The neck popped apart, and it took me an hour to get it back together. So I am going to put that thing on display and treat it like a statue.
I said before, it's literally just a bowling pin on Dread.
Yes.
I mean, it's that figure.
I wish it was a statue. Yeah. Anyways.
Oh, I got my rival kill.
Nice. Let's talk about the other figure, which is Orion Pax, who looks fine.
I like the minor buzzsaw he comes with.
Minor buzzsaw. He comes with the map. He's a new mold. He doesn't transform the same as the Optimus, which is cool.
I think besides some hollow bits, I think I like it more than the TF1 Optimus, honestly.
I do too, but if they're not going to make D16, I don't care.
Because here's probably because they released here's the Megatron's already inaccurate because he's missing a lot of bits also. So like I'm trying to think because the biggest thing
because the way they did it is they did Optimus was A level, Megatron was in a wave. So
if I remember right, because I keep thinking D16 Megatron didn't change that much, but no, like he did get bigger. That's the thing. That's the problem because the deluxe Megatron looks like D16 and not what he looks like as Megatron at the end of the film. I think that's the problem.
So I think I was flipping through the art book that got released by somebody because they're apparently not publishing it. And it seemed like originally Optimus and Megatron and Orion Pax and D16 were basically the same design. They slightly changed when they got upgraded, but then as development of the movie went along, they made it a massive difference. So that way it was more noticeable.
I think at this point they really should. I think what they should do is probably retool the Megatron Deluxe Megatron to a D16 and make a new movie accurate Voyager.
That would be nice.
Megatron. I think that's probably what they should do because I don't have that figure yet, but I'm just thinking of that figure design. I'm like that looks more like D6.
Well, that deluxe Megatron sucked ass. You had to get like add-on kits to make him look cool.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah. I only got it.
He's really not great. He's as bad as Elita 1.
Yeah, I only bought him because just to complete my Optimus, just to add the Optimus and Megatron.
I'm debating if I even want Alpha Trion because I was saying some reviews of him and I'm like,
yeah. Yeah, that's me. I love TF1, but I think the transforming figures are not. I'm just gonna stick with block. If I really want to get the fit characters, I just get blockies at the point.
Yeah. Ooh. And such. Found out. I just got a hilarious email.
Yeah.
Entertainment Earth is actually exploring the pre-order arrival services like I mentioned that other stores are implementing, because the fact that they hit me with $50 the other day for pre-order and they're like, oh, it's stocked early. I'm like, what are you talking about? You said estimated for
spring.
Yeah, no, they actually said we realize that some of these Bandai order kits that are listed are coming in sooner and sooner, that we might have to shift that, plus other product has been arriving earlier or later tariffs when people are not expecting it. So we are actually looking to explore this avenue eventually. Thank you for your concerns, and if you need to cancel anything else, please contact us.
That's nice.
Squeaky wheels get grease. That's the moral of the story. If you have a problem with something, speak up, and companies will hopefully address it.
Literally, for people who don't know, I made a pre-order for a bunch of kits that were coming in spring, and then somehow 2 of them stocked the day I placed the order that were expected for spring. So I kept asking Soundout, where's the release schedule? And Soundout said this is the problem. Some of the restocks are not available on the restock schedule. Bandai. So I had to cancel a good half of my order for stuff that released in early build fighters.
All right, well, on that note, we're going to get moving because we have 14 minutes left to do toys. All right, so, and the browser froze. Thank you, browser. Everybody say thank you, browser. You're holding us up. All right. Onslaught. We finally got our full look at Onslaught and his battle turret mode, which I find these very funny. Does anybody else find these amusing? I find these to be funny.
You know, it kind of looks. This one looks the funniest because this way has position. It looks kind of rude.
It looks like he's just firing a crotch.
Yeah, no, it's just the way I'm looking at it. That could go horribly wrong in position differently.
Yes. Super long truck mode, no big problem.
Touch,
Oh my god, the
skeleton
skeleton is frying me. Let me pull up. We gotta get a zoom in. We gotta get a zoom in on the skeleton mode without the Combaticons on it.
I hope those are strong joints because
God King Oger won't let you combine like that, which is funny. But yes,
Guys,
I was right. I was
Bruticus
right.
is
The legs
Springfield
worked like
Jack.
God King Oger. I called that like weeks ago. Very happy about myself.
I love how he's Spring-Heeled Jack.
Yeah. Literally, I think it's just this is the funniest image I've ever seen for a Transformer.
I skipped leg and arm day, but only did torso day.
Just did he skipped his quads. I mean,
Mr. Ferguson, you're
it's literally just me as like an elementary schooler.
Anyways, here's what he looks like with all of his parts combined.
I would say he does look good, but I think I do start to think the skeleton system is kind of like losing it a bit for me. Maybe because I have just a bias against Bruticus because he's my favorite combiner.
My only problem is his head is tiny.
Yeah, I think he's one of those things where Bruticus
because with the proportions, I wanted to with the proportion thing. There was this video of the display model at CCXP, and when you're looking at him from look down at him, a downward angle, he looks a lot better proportionately.
Yeah.
And when you're looking at him like from the prototype, he looks really good. But I think the biggest issue is his head's, like Sounda said, his head's too small, and I think his thighs just need to be a little bit longer. Just like a quarter of an inch longer.
I actually don't mind the small head, but I think is one of those like because I think Bruticus is one of those designs where a lot of artwork really embraced the Obari-ness of the design and like the big V chest. V chest, the big bulky, like small head, but like thin weight. Like he always looks so damn cool. So to see like very cartoon, like block level, he kind of loses a bit for me, a little bit. Like in such, I think that's what's throwing me off with the proportions.
What's really throwing me off is they couldn't give him a lightsaber.
I think what else, I think what I don't like about the arms especially is I like for the feet they actually painted yellow and green bits to make an illusion of Brawl and Swindle's like being the legs. But I think where the skeleton system is kind of losing with me is the green arm. It really does
also
look
they may not be green arms because if we look at the promo images, the promo this is the sideways ones. Let me pull up the promo images again. The promo images aren't consistent. I don't know exactly what the colors are going to be because where are we at? Let's pull this back up because I closed it by accident. Because if you see on the arms, right, like they're green here on they're like a dark green on the combined mode with the full combiner, and then in the promo image they're like a brighter green. And then in the truck mode, they're like a different shade of green. But I don't know. So I'm not exactly sure like where the color thing is going with this. So
yeah, I think, but like, yeah, I was the promo image are not helping. I'm still getting it. I pre-order him, which $100
yeah.
out.
I always think of combiners and their combined total price more so than their individual components.
Yeah,
because it's clear that's how the budget works.
I'm still a Bruticus fanboy, so like I still want to get it, but like it's not. I think it's like it's like this is not like the ideal look for Bruticus for me scenario like that.
Psycho says, correct me if I'm wrong. There's no Onslaught gun. I think Onslaught's gun comes with Brawl, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he doesn't come with the weapons in his box. Brawl comes with the gun, and then we got he didn't go up for pre-order yet, but Swindle, they gave us Swindle's promo images. And Swindle comes with a trailer that's the gun for Bruticus.
Yeah.
Also, there's Swindle. He looks fine.
Makes you go realize that. Maybe realize that, like, right, in G1 he just had his face was just one single color, not like animated onwards where they actually did separate his face from his helmet. Scenario like that.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah, I think
just you know,
the
I think
Combaticons.
I think the biggest thing is the prices are starting to catch up to us.
I think
Yeah.
the Combaticons are like and slash what was the team name in RID 01?
Ruination and the
What's the team name? What was the team name? Was it Sue Ruination?
Were they the
Or,
and the
Combaticons still?
Decepticons. Were they just called the Decepticons?
I mean, the Decepticons were just the 5 of them in Scourge. So
yeah, but like like their designs are like so like iconic to me that I feel like
yeah.
these new toys are a little leaning too much on their brick bodies, and I get why because they had to the whole transformation and stuff like
Hellfire
that. But
says,
it's
is it
like
bad for Ruination on a completely new mold? Geo and Brutus just can't be Ruination. Yeah, the way this is done, you can't just make this Ruination, because also Ruination, his
I think
default
that's also
his
his toy.
default
It's
was
like
also inverted.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, he's very toy design. I get this. I think that's what's throwing me off because I think when I think Brooke, I think the toy design honestly
Yeah.
first before I think because Ruination and then Dreamwave artwork and then some IW artwork. So
I
like
do
seeing this
think
mirror,
because of the way that the skeleton system works, they could just design new arms and legs, and that would do the
yeah,
trick. I think the torso's
yeah,
fine
probably.
enough, but like, yeah, he's not the
Well,
strongest.
no, that's now I'm imagining because if you that's also kind of shows the problem with the skeleton system is like you can't scrounge combine. And honestly, I think if you had the money, if they had the
Mm.
budget, I think you could make a system where they could suit scramble combine and be stable. I see enough of not in third
They'd all
parties,
have
but
to be
like
Voyagers to do it
yeah,
at the
that's
style
the
they
thing.
do it in, because you know the deluxe is on the
You can't.
Combiner Wars.
Yeah, you
There's just too
can't.
much for them. I think they could
But
scramble combine if they wanted to, but they'd have to be Voyagers, because then the whole budget
also,
goes up.
also, it makes me realize if they really want to if they do Ruination, and if you really want to scramble combine, they had to repaint them twice. Then. If they
Yes.
were in the if they want to have the Ruination limbs repainted RID colors, and if they want to do the scramble combine, they had to remold them to be ship and plane to be Voyagers and Swindle and Brawl to be arms. They had to remold them twice. Then you want to
Yeah.
scramble. That's
I
kind of
think
funny.
there needs to be like some kind of mid ground between the skeleton, because we need the stability of the skeletal system, but with the options of the scramble system. Like, how could we find that mid
Yeah,
ground?
I think like 'cause I think what is good with the skeleton system. I think Devastator. As soon as you see Devastator, I think it's still the best combiner because
Yeah,
the only thing skeleton about is just a waist joint. That's it. Everything else was still raw. The Constructicons,
and he's
and
the
it,
most stable out of all of them so far. Yeah,
yeah. Where the skeleton system is very limiting. It's like it really is not combined. You're just putting clothes on him at that point.
yeah.
It loses a lot of the
At
charm
least with
of
this
combiner.
one, we may be, you know, laughing about the skeleton, but like with Superion, you may not even notice you don't have the other guys. At least this time, it is necessity to have all the parts attached to it.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not just slapping cars on the back of his legs. So yeah, I think that's kind of like a good summation. I'm still getting it.
Yeah, no, I'm still getting it because I'm a Brugis
But
fanboy,
let's
but
do
like,
something different with Defensor, maybe. I don't know.
yeah, no, definitely, because I think
I think out of all the skeletons, my favorite of all the skeletons is Minosaur, easily.
do we have any word how they're doing Nexus Prime for the
He's the one who
Prime?
works the best.
Yeah. Nexus
Do we have,
Prime, we've heard nothing besides. I think the listing just says he's a Voyager.
because his whole thing is a combiner, and
Yeah.
like,
But then
I'm not
again,
sure
I
how to do.
mean, my Cronus Prime is kind of a marvel of engineering, so you never know what they could pull out to do it.
If they could make a mini combiner in either Voyager or Leader scale, by just because with Nexus Prime, I don't think his limbs have person. I think it's actually like power core combiner where they're drones.
Yeah, I
I
believe
think.
so. That it's all like one consciousness. It's not like multiple
Yeah, so
things.
honestly, they could just make his limbs just
Yeah.
drones.
Yeah, I think Nexus
And
Prime. Okay, so I think Nexus Prime at one point they were all conscious, but then somehow the body took the
Yeah.
primort. Because like I was reading about how like his backstory makes no sense.
Well, let's get on to the other reveal, which was Sideways for Armada, which is funny because they stopped putting the tag, like the name tags for the
Armada sideways.
universes.
So there's two Age of the Prime sideways.
Yes, one's a Voyager and one's a Deluxe, but there's still Age of the Prime Sideways. There's two of them. Anyways, he looks amazing until you look at his feet.
To be fair, they were just toy feet were just a seat.
Yes.
seat on the motorcycle. So
It just looks like Flatfoot Charlie over here. You know, like it's the only thing that's throwing me off is the feet. But he does come with both minicons that can combine into their
mirror. They're combined,
which is not an official name until today.
Wait, really? Oh wait,
Mirror was a fan name, but because the Hasbro team, because the Hasbro CEO threw out a bunch of the reference material, they don't actually know that Mirror was a fan name, and it's now officially canon because now it's on the box.
That's interesting.
Yep.
I didn't know about that.
So, anyways, the two of them, the whole reason they combine is so that they can ride. You know, it's 2 minicons, and then the two of them combine so they can ride the motorcycle mode for sideways. And we can see from a couple pictures, you can flip the symbol over from Decepticon to Autobot. Mirror was the Japanese name. Everybody was saying it wasn't an official name. So, my bad.
I think there's no look. I think he just only had Autobot Decepticon.
Yeah, there's no blank like the original. But the original toy is different. What it was when you plug the head on the original toy, the symbol would pop up, and we're not doing that anymore.
So can we? So
also, do we need to address the elephant in the room, which is the parts forming to do Mirror?
Is there parts forming for Mirror?
Yep, because there's the legs of the black one are right there on the side of the motorcycle.
Huh, I didn't notice that.
Yep.
I guess so. That's the thing. So the bigger elephant in the room is there's no stock photos of the Rook and Ricochet being his 2 heads, or is just Autobot something in the skies?
Yeah, there is absolutely
my biggest gripe.
There is no mention of them becoming heads. There is no picture of them becoming heads. There is no anything becoming heads except the designer of the toy confirmed through an Instagram DM that they still become the heads.
But here's the thing. Also, like, you look at Rook and Ricochet, they had the faces on their chest. Why would they have the faces on their chest so they don't become heads? It's just like, but it's just bizarre that like the main gimmick of Sideways is a whole head switching gimmick, and you think you want to advertise that? Like,
again, I don't want to be mean, but whoever's in charge of marketing at Transformers needs to be better at their job.
Yeah, because that's his main gimmick is the whole head.
This also isn't the first time a mode or feature has been left out of the promotional material. You know,
the first time. What was the first one?
There's been a few. I'm trying to think. One of the biggest ones was Evan oversharing. When he said that like there was a secret mode for Omega Prime, and then later he was "Oh yeah, I just thought people would figure it out." And I was like, "Did you not actually figure out a mode? Because where's the promo image?" Star Convoy. Star Convoy had a bunch of stuff that was not advertised. The bullet. The bullet was not discussed whatsoever. It wasn't shown in the instructions. Wasn't shown in the box art at all. So it's kind of a problem. Hellfire mentioned the problem with having no blank chests is that there is the default head.
It doesn't make sense technically because when he has the default head, he has no any
counterpoint. Because I'm going to be that bitch, but this is what we're doing in the show. How often do we see him with the default head though?
Like only like the final episodes, and that's it.
I think for the most part, we always saw him with one or the other on the heads. So there's a bunch of stuff like Transformers marketing and instruction sheets. Like, is the instruction sheets even going to mention the heads? You know,
it'd be better.
It's one of those things where, like, yes, the fans will know, but this is not a toy being sold exclusively to fans. This is a toy being
A+, on the packaging right there.
Is it 8 now? They used to be 4. Transformers has moved up to 8+ now, guys.
They got more dangerous.
This is a thing. You know, Velquid's mentioned maybe something gets added during manufacturing, and the people doing press aren't aware. Yeah, I mean, I think it's the case of like the bullet on Star Convoy that could have been a last minute addition. With this, the only reason he has mini-cons is for them to become heads. So for that to be missed is kind of like how bad is the communication at Hasbro right now between design and marketing?
I mean, they fired how many people?
They fired too many people. I think the communication chain's busted. So whatever, I guess. But
I'm excited. I'm excited for the figure, but it did give me. I got worried for a second because
when a designer has to respond to an Instagram DM to confirm that a feature's in a toy because they didn't mention it at the presentation they presented it at, and they didn't provide any marketing. They just put the thing is, because Hasbro fired so many people, what they used to do when they go to these conventions is they'd be like at CCXP in Brazil, and they'd do their panel, and then they'd release a video for everybody else, and then they would be talking about stuff. But they don't do that anymore. So we're just kind of sitting here going,
yeah,
yeah.
it's man? It's like maybe it's one of those like, man, maybe we trust you. We treat you harshly post streams.
We did take them for granted, I think, by accident. So, anyways, you know who's actually good at marketing? Takara Tomy with Missing Link. Because here comes Delta Magnus to destroy your wallet a second time next year.
You mean yours?
My wallet. I was trying to make it a community thing, but we know this is a specifically me problem. This guy's coming out. He went up for pre-order on Pulse as well as other retailers. So he's coming out in October, whereas Magnus is coming out, or Ultra Magnus is coming out in June. So technically, I could get both. They're 4 months apart, unlike the other recolors, which were the same day. Like these are 4 months apart.
You can plan it.
I can plan it. Yeah, I've got plenty of time to figure this out. But this is the original Powered Convoy colors. He still comes with the little robot buddy. He's still basically the same mold as the other one.
The Microman's more obviously Carly. You look at the hair, especially.
Yes. I do like this picture that includes RC into the car carrier mode because now she exists. And yeah, it's got all the extra like mode things. It's got the robot dude. And yeah, the Microman looks like Carly. There it is with the original toy. I'm probably going to end up with both, honestly. Just because.
Of course you will.
It's
your lore.
It is. And also on top of that, if they came out the same day, I think I would have had to make like a hard choice and be like, all right, let me get Delta Magnus.
Which one will you have to shoot first?
I would shoot Ultra Magnus only because I have only one other Delta Magnus. Like that's just the way I would have done it, is I would have just gone with Delta Magnus for the sake of variety. Yeah, Hellfire says, yeah, Takara spaces out on purpose because they knew it would tank if they expected them both at the same time. Yeah, I think spacing them out by 4 months allows me to go, oh, yeah, I could actually get both. Because I bought both RCs, but they were like 90 a piece, not 200 a piece, right?
That's 2 feet. That's 2 figures usually.
Yeah, like one Magnus is the price of what I paid for both RCs. So, and I like having the RCs. Like, actually, like having both is kind of fun because like anime RC, like anime RC is like, what I think of in my mind is RC, and then the toy color RC is like
it's a horse. It belongs in a museum.
Yeah, it's like it's got the lore and the history, but also like I can just be like, yeah, lesbian flag RC is just a different person. So, anyways, I think I'll probably end up doing the same and be like, these are two different people on my shelf, which is cool. I can work with that. Speaking of figure arts, you said 2 figure arts would cost an Ultra Magnus. What if
that's sadly the norm nowadays.
What if it Ultra Magnus was only $50 more than a figure art?
At least this one comes with a shit ton of accessories, at the very least.
Yeah, so we got these actually dropped. I think 5 minutes. 5 minutes after we finished streaming.
No, during our stream. Spin Dash reported them.
That's right. Toma dropped $2. Super chat, thank you very much. Said, rest in peace, Tomoichi Nishimura, Jump Whale, and other wolves. Yeah, we did lose a voice actor today who's been in a lot of iconic productions. So, big shout out. Long legacy to be left for sure. All right, look at this Ultraman figure. It's $150. First of all, did Tamashi buy giant ass display bases with no pegs on them in bulk? Because we've been getting them for everything. There was a Ichigo that came with one, and Aka Ranger comes with it.
The Dragon Ball 60th anniversary one, like Broly and Cooler come with them.
Yep.
I don't know what to do with mine. I just have it. I just put it in storage because I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, and then Ultraman comes with one, and I think the thing is they're fine, but like my Aka Ranger shipping rate is so much higher because it. Well,
he's the at least these stands you have. You could take out. There's you could take ports out to plug in the stand pieces, so at least it's useful in this case versus Cooler and Broly.
Yeah.
Because all the effects and such.
But here's everything that Ultraman comes with. Multiple stand arms, effect sheets, effect things, tiny spaceship, alternate head with light up eyes. It's essentially, I look at it and I'm like, that's the Mezco with a couple extra things without the buildings and the cape.
It's like the definitive man.
It's almost the definitive man. He should have just come with the cape though. Like,
But that's post show. Post show, just specifically original series.
Yeah, but I'm still standing for $150. Just throw in the damn cape.
No, you must sell the case for more expensive.
Yeah, so he comes with all this stuff, which is neat, and it is pretty well packed. I think it's pretty cool. He also comes with a hand to shake Tiga's hand, so he comes with a Tiga hand as well, which is neat.
And only Tiga. You cannot put that other shake hand on anybody else, or else it'll explode.
Exactly. I think this is a new set that's really cool. What the hell is Dirty Zeton costing 11,000 yen?
Well, I can recreate that right now with my own Zeton. Just
exactly.
Throw in the yard.
Like the Ultraman, I get. This is just like we made the Zeton a little dirtier to be more realistic. It's still the same mold as a figure that you sold for like 5,000 yen like 10 years ago. Like, what do you mean this is the now 11,000 yen and basically this? And same story goes for Baltan. Here's just Baltan dirtier for 11,000 yen. At least if they were like full Seihos, that'd be one thing. But like, I just don't get the price on these.
Dirt costs a lot. Okay.
You know what also costs a lot? Chogokin Samus Aran Metroid Prime 4 Beyond version. This came out of complete nowhere.
Was this the monkey paw? Was this the monkey paw right here for you?
In a way, yes, but there's no way I'm spending $300 on an 8-inch tall Samus figure. That's especially for the fact that her only accessory is the charge cannon and a couple hands. And then I think she's supposed to have some light up effects. She's got to stand, but like it's $300.
I think it was right because like usually the only ones I've been doing Metroid stuff has been Good Smile. So I don't know his band is like we made Samus also.
Yeah, and I'm just like, that looks great, but $300. I know it's Chogokin, but like I know it was a few years ago. I paid $300 for my Go Lion, and that had a lot more going on.
Also, spoilers, but this floor doesn't really appear that much. Doesn't last long in the game, technically.
Yeah, I was gonna say minor spoilers. I have not seen this suit since Thursday, as in I played the game on launch day and already got past the point where she uses the suit.
Yeah, because if we were to get honestly, I see what if Good Smile, I don't think see what. If I imagine Good Smile, because I'm pretty sure they're still good. I mean, they're re-releasing a bunch of Metroid stuff next year. I can see them doing a Viololo suit and coming with DLC part for Metroid Prime, the Metroid Prime Figma Samus.
Yeah,
it's attached on. Like, I maybe not full on DLC because I realized her lights in her suit are purple, so that's a full paint job. But still, like,
this is still just like this isn't a price I'm not willing to drop.
Yeah.
It's like how I don't have a Super Metroid cartridge because I just haven't found it for the price I'm willing to drop on it.
If this was like the Vololo suit with the Vololo bike, then with this price, then maybe.
Oh yeah, also Veloquent said every Samus figure should be legally required to come with a morph ball. I agree.
Yeah,
where's the morph ball? That's like the easy throw-in accessory for everything, right? Anyway, so I'm not picking it up. I have enough restraint to go. Nope, that's out of the price range I want to spend on that. Okay, we need to move into entertainment because my God. I'm going to make this segment kind of short, but I just wanted to address we're going to address this thing here. So, entertainment news. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls had a second beta over the weekend, which I did play. And first things first, we talked about the X-Mansion stage in depth and how all these characters being in the background could deconfirm them from appearing in the game because we don't see Storm ever show up. But in the beta, if you were playing and nobody was playing as Storm, she would appear on the third image. There's like multiple, throughout the rounds. If you're on your third round, Storm will appear in the background, which means, yeah, anybody in the background could still be playable.
So is Afons from Afons from the Spirit Trek stage.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm glad.
I would say that I think a lot of the background character that isn't Storm. If they're gonna be in the game, they had to be a DLC because again, their designs are too basic.
Yeah, I still agree with that. I still agree that they're not going to be base game. So I also want to talk about. I played the beta this weekend. I want to touch on this briefly because I could go on a whole tangent, but
me and Santa had like a big talk about how we feel about the game.
So I think we both came away not liking it.
I played the first beta. I didn't play the second beta, but it's practically the same from what I understand.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Second beta just had Ghost Rider and Spider-Man and a couple tweaks. Having played it a bunch, I played it a bunch on Friday, played it a little bit on Saturday. I didn't play it on Sunday because I was kind of bored playing it on Saturday.
Was Grundy born on that day also?
Yes, Grundy was born on a Sunday.
Played it on a Friday, played it on a Saturday.
Like on Saturday when I was playing it, I was like, I could be playing Metroid right now. So my issue with the game is that they made it really easy to pick up and play, which you think would be good, but they've made it too easy. Almost everything is auto combos.
Like you can literally, the classic Unga Bunga gag with some
Yes.
fighting games. It's literally that, but like actually like bad in this.
It is, and the problem I have with it is that the game, once you learn how to play it, the game essentially devolves into Smash Brothers Final Sudden Death, where
Sudden Death.
basically whoever can start, like you can do infinites in this game super easy, like super easy. Whoever gets started on a combo, if you can corner your opponent and combo, you can just win a round, like no problem, and your opponent can't do anything about it.
There's no bursts like most Arc Sys fighting games.
There's no burst, there's no knockback, and the iframes are like that. It's just you have half a second to do something to get out of the corner. And the only move I found effective to get out of a corner was to roll out of the way. And if your opponent anticipates it, hits you with an overhead, you're trapped again and you're stuck. That made the game stop being fun after a certain point because I just got bored. Because I would get bodied, and then I'd body my opponent, and then my opponent would body me, and I'd body them. There was no back and forth. I never had a match that was down to like, there was never a match that was down to like, everybody's on like 10% health, and who could win? It was always whoever had the biggest long chain combo was gonna win. Like, whoever got their chain combo started, that was who was gonna win the round. So it started became predictable. Also with a 4v4 and only 8 characters, I liked 3 of them. I didn't like playing as any more than 3 of them. I only liked playing as Ghost Rider, Storm, and Star-Lord. I put Dr. Doom on my team because I had to. I didn't ever switch to him after a certain point because he's a ranged character in a game full of close-in fighting only. Yes, this is a beta, and I did tell the developers. I spent over a half hour filling out my survey this morning. I was putting all of this in. The game is not ready to be coming out next year. This is not a game that is going to be fun for an extended period of time, and that sucks because it has all the potential to be. The animation's beautiful, the characters are different, and there's like a 4v4 combat system, but I found it just kind of ran its course after a couple hours.
That's like most things Arc Sys lately.
But that's the thing. This, compared to other Arc Sys games, this is just lacking in every single category. Except for like the visuals, and the visuals are nice, but like, again, I got tired of seeing the same characters over and over again because with how limited the roster was, I only played as Ghost Rider as my lead and Storm as my backup and Star-Lord as my third. I didn't want to change the roster around because every time I did, I started losing. Because and also a lot of people were playing Ghost Rider because Ghost Rider was faster than everybody else, and he has an overhead smash, so you could easily knock people into a combo. And if they jump during their iframes, you could put a fire pit down so they'd land and get damaged.
He was also new. Or if they were new, if they played the previous beta.
Him and Spider-Man were new for the nobody had gotten to play him in the previous beta. Peacemaker says, so no real neutral or ability to reset neutral. No neutral whatsoever. Everything is super combos, everything is auto combos, everything is big tag combos. It is just, constant, like, you are it's exhausting because there's no defense game whatsoever. There's no defensive maneuvers. You can block, and that's about it. There's one parry move that doesn't do shit. It became very frustrating very quickly. And I sent my survey in. I put all this in detail, all my problems I had with it. And I really hope they delay the game because I think they need to completely overhaul the mechanics of how the game is played, or cut down the 4v4. The 4v4 is too much. I think we're stuck with I think we're
at least approved the 4v4 because I think they're stuck with the 4v4 because that's the marketing of the game.
But what we need is when you're getting bodied in a corner and you have assist gauge, you should be able to push a button to get your assist to come in and save you. Because, and I know that they should be able to do this because they do it in freaking Marvel Cosmic Invasion, and that's just to beat them up.
Or in Blaze with cross tag battle.
Blaze with cross tag battle. Because the problem is the way it's set up right now, is that if you pull your assist in while you're being attacked, your assist will time out. If you get hit when you pull an assist in and the assist doesn't get to attack and you get hit, they vanish. They jump away. You can't switch to them. You have to not get hit for your assist to do any damage, and that complicates it because you have one health bar. It's not like like MVC where you could bring your assist in and your assist could start taking damage, right? You don't have that. It's just if you get hit when your assist is coming in for an attack and they don't get to do their attack doesn't happen. They vanish. You don't keep doing anything. And the iframes are so short, you have no time to do anything or even think about anything.
Yeah, like, I play a lot of Arxis games and really love a lot of them, but like this, when I played the first beta, I'm like, I'm not having fun with this because it just, even I'm not the greatest at playing games. I lose a lot of matches, but even then, I feel like I usually get around win, or like I usually get to round 3 where like I have a stock, the other player has a stock, and Guilty Gear, Grand Blue, Blaze Blue, and all this stuff. Here, I couldn't get any stocks in Tokon.
I was hearing from people from the first beta, they were like, why are there people in here that feel like they've been playing for years? It's because you play the game for like an hour and then you just know, because that's all the move list is so limited that you kind of just know, but once you know what your combo is, you're just going to keep trying to get that combo, and if you can get that combo started, your combo is going to win the match. Like, it's just how the game is played.
I just love how this game is the meme, fight back, back.
Yeah, except you can't. You're given nothing to work with. If you're getting bodied, you're getting bodied. That's the end of the game.
Again, the fact there's no burst. I mean, more just about there's no way to burst in this game, or like it could, or like you could like even in some games where they don't have burst, they have that's a tag fighter. If you get cornered, you can swap to your next character and they'll like kick in and
the kick in from cross tag would be perfect for this. That would solve a lot of problems. Scrublord also said, from what I've seen, my level players, the inputs are really janky and not intuitive. They're not. Like, and a bunch of combos are like, press square 5 times. And it's like, that's boring if you want to play it for a long period of time. If you're just jumping in, this isn't, fighting games are not Fortnite. You can't Fortniteify a fighting game because the whole point and the longevity of fighting games is the continuing expansion and the way the player base continues to find new things. But if your base level gameplay is so like limited, then you're going to burn out, which is just like Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Why did everyone stop playing that after like a month? Because everybody plays the same. You have the same 3 combos for every character, and that's kind of how it goes, right? There's not enough to keep it going, and so I feel like this game is supposed to be building as the next big fighting game, but I don't think it's got any longevity to it because I got bored after 48 hours. And I only played, I think, in total like 5 hours of the game, and I was already bored. And I don't think that's a good sign because I should be wanting to play a Ghost Rider in a fighting game for like 12 hours straight and not get bored. But I was getting bored.
Marvel Arxis, that's a good combo, like and such, but like it doesn't feel good playing it.
It feels too watered down as an experience, like as it is. And I think I would not be so concerned if they weren't saying like we're releasing next year. I'm like, don't. It's not worth it.
Because like, even though like Strive's first beta had some ups and downs there, it still felt fun to play.
Yeah.
When Strive's beta first came
out. AR
out.
mentioned Dragon Ball Fighters. It's like this is supposed to be the next Dragon Ball Fighters. Yeah, except this doesn't have any of the depth that Fighters had. Fighters was easy to pick up and play, but you could also explore more depth to it. I was looking for depth for hours and couldn't find it. Yeah, and I think that's a problem. I think it's a problem for a fighting game. So, also, yes, the Avatar demo coming out at the same time was not good for this game.
I didn't help it because fighting game professionals were having fun with that one.
Yes,
I saw
a lot more fun happening with Avatar. That's the thing. When I was playing Tokon on Saturday, I was like, I should stop and play Metroid instead because I'd have more fun with it. So, it's very frustrating because I feel like the game has all the ingredients are there to be the most delicious meal possible, and I feel like it just completely fumbled it. And I really hope they go back to the drawing board on a bunch of it before they go to release, because I don't think it's going to work. If it releases like the game is now, if this game came out tomorrow, I wouldn't even buy it. Like there's not enough to it. It needs something. It needs that spark of life.
You also need. I hope it has some good single player content. So I'll say that also.
Yeah. Also, the I was gonna say the tutorial lacks 3 different mechanics are not in the tutorial, and I put that in my survey as well. I was like,
oh yeah. I remember noticing that. It's like I feel like there's something missing.
Yeah.
When I was playing it.
All right, what were we gonna say, Wheels?
I was gonna say, well, since Harada left Bandai, Arcs is.
Oh yeah,
game.
Harada left
Harada
Bandai. Oh, now you're leaving Bandai. He's leaving at the end of the month.
Harada left Bandai. Habu left Bandai. Who's even gonna be left?
They'll find a way.
Let's transition over to movies. Lupin the Third, the movie, The Immortal Bloodline, the next chapter in Takashi Koike's Lupin series, which is the more mature adult, closer to the Monkey Punch manga Lupin.
Is this blue? Don't people call this Blue Jacket era? Something like that, right?
Nah, this is what I call boobs and blood era. Because the
I thought Lupin already had boobs. What are you talking about?
Oh no. There's a difference. See, the boobs in Lupin in older productions are more like cartoony boobs. Whereas like the woman called Fujiko Mine has a very infamous intro title sequence that Discotek couldn't show as promotion for the Blu-ray because the boobs were so well detailed they were flagged as real. Anyways, so woman called Fujiko Mine, Jigen's gravestone, and Goemon's blood spray were the previous entries in this series. It's a much more darker, more adult aimed, closer to the original manga Lupin, and this is a continuing of that. And except this one's going to focus on Lupin. The others have not focused on Lupin, hence by the titles "Woman Called Fujiko Mine," Goemon's blood spray, and Jigen's gravestone. This is going to be focused on Lupin himself. It is going to get a theatrical release in North America through G-Kids, January 4th to 6th, and tickets are coming soon. So,
I'm pretty sure.
Going for the throat. G-Kids is going for the throat.
I'm pretty sure they got used. I saw people go like, "What voice actor?" I'm pretty sure they got used all for Michelle Ruff, Richard Card Cat.
Maybe, because I don't think they would be a good fit for this.
Really?
Because the tone difference between Lupin the Third with a 3 and Lupin the Third with the Roman numerals is very significant.
Well, let me check. So, wait, what were the other films?
There was a TV series, Woman Called Fujiko Mine, and then the other movies were Jigen's Gravestone and Goemon's Blood Spray. I don't remember if they got dubbed. I can't remember if they got dubbed.
They did. Michelle, yeah, I see they got dubbed. Michelle. Oh, so we have so it's Michelle and for the Woman Called Fujiko Mine. We got Michelle Ruff as Fujiko, but they have Sony Straits as Lupin, not Tony Oliver.
Yeah, that's because Funimation licensed it back then.
Okay, because yes, but we have Retro Card Zenigata and Sabed as Jigen. What was the other? Was it
Goemon's Blood Spray?
Is that a movie or a special?
It's a movie. I think it was. I don't think it was a theatrical film. I think it was an OVA movie.
That'll be Blood Spray. Is that on here? I'm checking beyond the voice actors.
Also there was Fujiko's Lie. I forgot about Fujiko's Lie. There's also Fujiko's Lie. That's another movie.
I don't see it, but again, there's so much Lupin production. Oh wait, I see Fujiko Live. Okay, so in Fujiko's Live, is that part of the same?
Yeah, that's the same continuity.
That's Christina V as Fujiko, Keith Silverstein as Lupin, Daniel Warren as Jigen, and is Goemon in this film? Oh, Goemon's not in this film, but at least according to beyond the voice actor.
Okay, so for Goemon's Blood Spray, Lex Lang voiced Goemon, Keith Silverstein was Lupin, Dan Warren was Jigen, Christina V was Fujiko Mine, and but at least from looks of it, that's like the consistent cast for these type of films. Yeah,
then
I think that's the cast they would probably use for this. Because that, it's also Jigen's Gravestone used the same cast as that. So,
okay.
Yeah, I think that's probably what they're going to do is use that cast.
It's only interesting how like back in the day is because the Lupin cast is dependent on who has the license, but now it's just which group of actors fits the film, which I've always find interesting.
There was also another. I forgot this was this year. Zenigata and the Two Lupins came out this year.
Is that dubbed?
That was not. No, it hasn't. It just came out in June. I don't think it's even released
so
over here yet. Yeah.
okay, so that but I'm
But
hoping they'll use
that
keeps
so
keep
basically every character got a Focus movie except for Lupin. So this is Lupin's Focus movie.
But so it is interesting that Lupin now will pick voice actors if they fit that. Well, I guess it would be.
It's also the first
fit that.
theatrical feature-length 2D Lupin movie since Dead or Alive in '96.
Actually, we call it fit that film or fit that or continuity at this point because
Continuity.
like
It's like its own sub-continuity.
Yeah, so you know, it's like I find that kind of cool that each continuity has their specific voice actors. That's kind of cool, honestly.
Jeremy Carr says Zenny got a 1 sub. It was really good. I need to catch up. I'll probably catch up before going to go see this, because I have all the.
All I know is I've met a Lupin.
Yeah. Okay. That's I think enough on that.
Told me that Tomino sucks.
All right, Code Geass, Aspar the Star Chaser. Production has been decided with director Kazuya Nomura, and this is another Code Geass series.
Surprised that Code Geass is becoming a continuous franchise, honestly, because I thought like I saw Rose, but that felt like I felt like that was gonna be that was like the one continuing series. I mean there was that other OVA series or was it?
It was Akito the Exiled was like it was an interlude. Whereas Rose took place after.
Yeah, that felt like Rose kind of felt like, oh, that's the sequel series scenario. But it's interesting that they're Code Geass, at least what I've seen. I haven't seen all of it.
Code Geass has diminishing returns for me. Every production I like less than the previous one.
I like what Rose to me was I like the beginning of Rose. Okay, this is kind of for someone who did not like the original series. I haven't seen it in years. This years, but I like how Rose started. It fumbles so bad at the end there.
Yeah, exactly. Because like I was at one point I was gonna say like Rose is the best thing to happen since season 1, but then the ending just kind of fumbled it. So ultimately it's like I like season 2 less than season 1. I liked Akito less than season 2. I liked the Resurrection movie less than Akito. I liked Rose less than the Resurrection movie. And so I'm like I'm not exactly excited about this because it just again diminishing returns.
I think it's just one of those because I just don't think the Code Geass, the way how the Code Geass series is, unless it's an AU, I just don't think it could work as a franchise.
Well, they already are in an AU. Everything, Resurrection, Rose, and this are all AU stuff because they changed the ending in the compilation movies to make Resurrection possible, so then they could do Rose.
Okay, when I mean AU, I mean like G Gundam, Gundam Wing.
Yeah,
where it's same mecha design.
We already had a AU Geass. It was called AMAIM.
I think I heard that series. I don't think I've seen
that series.
AMAIM is literally Code Geass. It's just more Code Geass, but worse.
It's like bad. I might look into that. But still, like, but still, like, I just heard this. This, we don't know if this is in the same continuity as other stuff. But like, still, like, again, like, I don't know. Code Geass doesn't seem like a franchise that can like.
So shall we pull a Mean Girls quote? Stop trying to make Code Geass happen.
I thought you were gonna say stop making Code Geass Gundam because it really kind of feels like that's what they want to do with Code Geass.
I feel like I don't want to just say they should give up, but I think they should. I feel like a lot of the reason Code Geass was popular was Lelouch and forgot his name.
Zangaku or Zanaku or right.
Zaku.
Or Cal, or they got like one of the male characters.
The two lead boys that are seemingly in love with each other.
Suzaku, Suzaku and Lelouch.
Suzaku, yeah, Lelouch and Suzaku. I feel like the popularity existed because of the two of them, and then everything worked around it, and then
because that's the thing is Code Geass has similar themes to Gundam, but they go sometimes a little too much. I think that's why, because that's why I couldn't get into the original series because a lot of the stuff they're telling, I think is fine. The war story they're telling with Britannia and stuff is, I think, interesting, but it goes too much too much for my own personal taste.
That's why I think like the show is so weirdly dense in its narrative that I think the only reason again it stayed popular was because Lelouch and Suzaku.
I think it's like how you feel with Suicide Squad. James Gunn. It's a taste thing from the original Code Geass, where like I like the themes and the like the themes and war story they want to tell, but like I think they went too far. a lot of times. Bit
Problem with
not as bad.
The problem with
Not as
Code
bad
Geass
as other. Oh yeah, continuous.
No, I was gonna say the problem is it was very much a very elongated drama. It was very story driven. It was like that stupid pretentious meme of this one isn't about the robots, it's about the characters.
Yeah,
that's
kind of what Code Geass is.
Yeah,
that is very much Code Geass because there's a lot of episodes where like the B plot is like all of Lelouch's men doing some weird attack, and Lelouch is just at college go, let's get Pizza Hut! Yay! Yeah. And I'm just like, what Orange High School Club? Like, because I remember, like, I liked it, I really enjoyed watching it, but the problem was...
I love how we're avoiding the WB situation by going on and Code Geass. Sorry,
like,
just finish up.
I remember it coming on so late, like, it was just like Eureka 7, where it was like, you can't follow it. But at least unlike Eureka 7, Code Geass doesn't have boring-ass, bland-ass characters, because Code Geass at least has something you're hooked to. Eureka 7 is, what is this show? I thought this was about cool super robots surfing and fighting. None of that. It's just
never underestimate a good soap opera, right? Never underestimate a good soap opera.
But I think it's like what is with Code Geass is there's definitely a lot worser mecha series with taste. Don't ever watch Cross Energy. That is garbage. At least for me. That episode 1 made me just go like, I'm never watching this again. Like at least I stomach most of Code Geass.
Anyways, let's get to the wrap up point. None of us are excited about this, and I'm not watching it weekly if it's a weekly show.
Well, it's not like I'm not excited for it. It's more just like I might check that one out, but like it's not like the interest. My interest is not there.
I'll summarize it. Code Geass is a lot like Garo at one point. First, maybe 2 installments.
That's it.
The other one's
that's insulting. That's insulting.
That's insulting to Garo.
You
are Wheels. You're not allowed to say that because you never watched Akito the Exiled or Rose the whatever. Like, you gotta watch those 2 shows and then come back and try to say that, because then you have a place to stand. Because those 2 shows legitimately, like, make me wish I never even watched Code Geass. Okay? So, like, nothing...
it's like Versus Road.
Versus Road was not anywhere near as bad as Akito the Exiled. Alright?
Rose for me is worse because that gave me hope. Like that game, I was legitimately enjoying this, and then it really fumbled so bad, like really bad.
Versus Road was a giant fumble, but it never had potential. So
Versus Road. Also Versus Road it's pure spin-off land. Yeah, that's pure spin-off land. I don't count. I never count Versus Road as far.
I'm ready to move on to Spider Noir. We got confirmation of 2 things for the Spider Noir series is coming to Prime Video. The first of all, it is coming in 2026. Second of all, this is a live-action series starring Nicolas Cage. It's going to be released in both black and white and color at the same time. They said they made it for black and white, but they're also releasing a color version at the same time because somebody's
because they know most audiences like you black and white.
Yep. And we did get confirmation that the rumors are true. He is Ben Reilly, not Peter Parker.
I love this stupid ass rule that's it's only Sony's fault. This is just a Sony rule they put on themselves, where the only live action Peter Parker is Tom Holland. There's a movie about him being 2 other live action Peter Parkers.
Yes,
it is
a self-imposed rule. They could have had Spider-Man in the Venom movies. They just chose not to.
Yeah, like him being Ben Reilly, like who cares? It's probably the same character, no matter what.
I would love it if he's just like, I had to change my name as a new alias, Ben Reilly. Like it's probably something like that. It's probably something like that.
But it's just so funny that like Sony's stupid self-imposed rule is like we must make him Ben Reilly because Tom Holland is the only Peter Parker.
Yep. Oh, Blade Raider. That's a good point. Ben Reilly does sound like a better name as a noir detective.
I'm Detective Ben Reilly.
Yeah, actually kind of works better, honestly. All right, well, speaking of Amazon Prime, they tried to do AI dubbing, and it went over like, I don't even know how to describe how bad it went over.
It went over greatly. It went over amazingly.
I mean, it blew
up in their face so quickly.
Yes, like a nuclear bomb.
But at least we did get some really good gems out of that AI dub that make like Ghost Stories and some of those really bad dubs look like tame now.
It really makes Ghost Stories look great.
The Ghost Story was well acted. It was just a gag dub.
Yep.
Banana Fish was just AI garbage.
Yeah, so Banana Fish got...
Great. I was cracking up.
Yeah, so to recap, Banana Fish was given an AI dub, and then for some reason, No Game, No Life Zero was given an AI dub, when it already had 2 English dubs.
Yeah, like East Asian dub and the Sentai Filmworks dub, right?
There also was Latin America Spanish AI dubs as well. Now, the Amazon announced they were going to be doing this like months ago, and everybody's like, okay, that's going to go over terrible when it happens, and it did. The other thing that was very interesting about this is Anime News Network reached out to Aniplex regarding the Banana Fish dubs, and to Katakawa and Sentai Filmworks regarding No Game No Life 0, and Katakawa state that they has not approved an AI dub in any form, which is one of the reasons why it was taken down, because that was not within Amazon's license. Yeah. Also, sources at High Dive stated it was not aware in advance of the AI dub and is looking into it with Amazon. Aniplex did not issue a statement as of this press time. Yeah, so basically Amazon Prime was like, oh, we'll just put these AI dubs in, and then the companies involved were like, we didn't tell you could do that. Which just shows you just kind of the state of AI. It's always used to do cheap bucks, don't care about the rules, I'm going to do this thing, and I don't care what anyone says. And it blew up in their face, and I'm glad that's the case.
I mean, there's someone you don't want to anger is the parent company.
Yeah.
Fuck with Aniplex.
You don't want to mess with Aniplex. Aniplex is like, we're not going to say anything because we're going to take him to court.
That's the thing. Like, here's the thing. I think a lot of people don't not realize.
Like, I hate Aniplex, but this is the W that.
It's the hooks. Like, I don't care who is. I just want Amazon to lose.
Exactly, it's that.
Here's the thing about dubs. I think some people don't realize because they have a stick up their bum. Is dubs are not. No dubbing company can go like hog with a dub. They need to get approvals from the original parent company. So like they had to record a license, record a dialogue, send it to the parent company, get their approval, and they approve it. They'll use it. But so if you make a rogue dub, the parent company is going like, "Oi, what are you doing with our IP? We didn't allow you to do that, buddy."
Yep. Now, speaking of which, you're like, man, Amazon Prime's kind of cooked for anime because they're doing AI dubs. Maybe Crunchyroll's doing fine. Well, in addition to AI subtitles, Crunchyroll is ending their free ad-supported version of the streaming service on December 31st of this year, which means you can no longer watch certain anime for free. You now only have to pay for it.
I mean, look, while this sucks, it's definitely the lesser of evils scenario here.
I think the AI subtitling is just as bad. Because
that's bad, but
they're pretty. Like the thing is that this is a company, right? Like I'm not surprised they had a free tier because it honestly was kind of useless for a long time. But I will say that like it's just like Crunchyroll. Everyone's like, wow, you're cutting jobs and you're cutting jobs and you're replacing your translators with an AI program that doesn't work, and you're not gonna like offer stuff for free. It's that kind of thing.
I mean, in this case scenario where like what Crunchyroll ruined the free thing is bad for the consumer. What Amazon did is legitimate. They can like get sued for. So that's definitely the biggest. It's definitely.
They both suck, but
the worst.
So what sounds bringing about them removing the free viewer thing? It was funny because I was mentioning it to Kaus, I think, the other night. I said to Kaus, I said, you know what's funny is before they were even purchased by Sony, having that free tier technically was hurting their business model. Some people weren't actually subscribed. Like, if Sony didn't buy them, they should have ended it a long time ago, because technically you're losing money by having that free one for a lot of
this is just a business decision. Like,
it's just a funny timing. That's literally why they got. Right? They're like, everybody's mad at us. Let's roll this out now.
Yeah.
Like this is the thing. I'm not trying to discredit people who used it for years, but in a business strategy, even I was like, wait, why did they keep this free for so freaking long?
I'm on. Yeah, I agree on. I'm on Wheel's side where it's like it's definitely sucks, but like.
I'm not mad about it. I never used it.
There's much, especially with Crunchy, there's much worse for things they've done. And in this case, Amazon's in more trouble.
Yep.
Exactly. No, Amazon did way worse because like the free benefits thing would have been like, okay, we're doing these ones for free if it was like, oh, it's a deal with Funimation before they had bought Funimation or before they were bought by Sony as a whole. Like if it was like one of those things where it's like, okay, these main popular shonen titles are free, but everything else you got to subscribe, if that makes sense. But like they made a lot of stuff that they shouldn't have made free, which was like, what was
for the longest time the first 2 Garo animes were on the Funimation YouTube channel, like not region locked, and they were just up there dubbed for like years, and it was like somebody forgot they put them there.
Okay.
Yep.
So funny story.
Is it short? Because we have a lot of news still.
Yes, it's really yeah. No, MJ Klein brought Crunchyroll used to be a pirate site. Technically, yes, MJ Klein. Crunchyroll used to essentially be YouTube, but for anime, tokusatsu, J-dramas, and like anything live action Japanese and K-pop or Korean dramas. Because when I used to go there, TV Nihon had an official channel there where they'd put their subs up. DT Kingdom, who used to be on YouTube, also had like a channel there. So I used to watch a lot of my tokusatsu and anime through like TV Nihon's early days when they used to do anime and tokusatsu.
Yeah.
And certain J-dramas. So I used to watch on Crunchyroll because they were just trying to be weeb YouTube.
And speaking of weebs, Star Wars did the craziest announcement. In the wake of everybody discussing if the theatrical experience should continue to exist, Star Wars announced that the original theatrical version of Star Wars, the first film, is returning to theaters for its 50th anniversary in a brand new 4K transfer, which has been been an open secret in the industry for the last 3 months. And this is not going to be until 2027. Just so everyone knows, this is still a ways out.
Oh, okay.
Because the 50th is 2027. But yes, returning to theaters. What is it? February 19th, 2027. They will be re-releasing the original Star Wars in its original theatrical version in theaters, and I imagine also probably to 4K later because they know how to make money. This is insane because this is something we thought would never happen, and people have been like, didn't George Lucas put a ban on releasing the original theatrical versions? And I just got to say, I'm not going to say anything, but George Lucas is opening a very expensive museum next year, and I'm sure that a donation was probably made in agreement to, not raise a stink about something. Allegedly, because I'm just making this up. I just have a feeling that there was a little bit of a transaction.
Also, Lucas hasn't had his hands in this franchise for almost a decade now.
It's at a point where I think George Lucas does not care, because apparently he had to be convinced to add Star Wars stuff to his museum. He was against it originally, and they were like, okay, but people are going to expect Star Wars stuff, George. And he's like, okay, fine.
Please tell me he has Howard the Duck stuff there and not Star Wars.
I hope he does. I mean, the museum hasn't opened yet, but it's a very...
I'll love if you want to put Howard the Duck stuff there, but not Star Wars in that museum.
I think he would, because the animatronics for Howard the Duck were impressive. Blade Raider says original. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm sure it's an attempt to restore. Just doubt it'll be fully restored. And it might be, because the thing is, there was some clips that leaked out through the Star Wars YouTube recently that do seem to be going back to the original film negative and stuff.
Because with the film, because when New Hope came out, it was just Star Wars, right? The New Hope.
Yeah, just Star Wars. Later. New Hope tag came I think in the re-release. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just Star Wars. It was wasn't Indiana Jones just only called Raiders of the Lost Ark, right, originally?
It's never actually been legally called Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's always just been Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Is it the whole what they call Turtles 3, Turtles in Time scenario like that?
Yeah, that's only because the home video slapped the Turtles in Time part on it. It was just Ninja Turtles 3 on the poster and the movie itself. But yeah, I mean, it's exciting because this is happening. Lord of the Rings is coming back to theaters next year. Top Gun's coming back to theaters next year. There's a lot. There's a lot coming back to theaters next year.
I'm not sure what that tells you about what
it tells you is that people do want to see movies in theaters. There is money to be made in movies in theaters. It just may not be what is new releases in theaters, right? Because
I think it's more. I just think it's more man, we're never escaping 80s nostalgia ever.
No, of course not. The problem is because 2000s nostalgia is reheated 80s nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you're nostalgic for the Ninja Turtles you watched in the 2000s, that was a reboot of the Ninja Turtles from the 80s.
I feel like we won't do the 80s nostalgia. We keep having into every person in the 1980s is in their graves.
Yeah, basically. And it's because they reheated it during the 2000s, so now we have another generation that's nostalgic for the same thing.
I always feel like the 80s, even though the 2000s start, I feel like the 80s nostalgia, where does it start into late 2000s to all the 2010s? It feels like
80s nostalgia hit. I think I want to say nostalgia started really appearing 07 to maybe
like when
12.
YouTube started.
That five.
Practically when YouTube started,
Yeah.
honestly. I guess because most when YouTube started, people just uploaded like 80s, like your Transformers, your Master Universe, your GI Joe onto YouTube and stuff like that by that time, and such.
Anyways, this is exciting, and I think we're ready to move on. Speaking of '90s nostalgia, the rumor that Power Rangers is getting a reboot series to be aired on Disney Plus has been around for a while. It's supposed to be coming from the producers of the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, and they were asked on the red carpet, and they said, yes, the rumor is true. I cannot tell you, but I'm very, very excited for that story. So they have confirmed that they are making another Power Rangers series for Disney Plus.
I mean, it's good. I think it's just nice to know it's actually happening.
It is happening.
At least,
but there was a bunch of people saying they're filming in January. And it's like, no, it's in development phase. It's not ready to go yet.
This is more than like the John Entwistle project before that
Yeah.
died, because it's like, what, we got the announcement, it's happening, and silence. Here we got announced it was happening, and now we have people going like, yeah, we're making it. At least that's more than the Entwistle project.
We heard from the person actually is tapped to make it that they're working on it, and that's a sign that it's happening. Now, speaking of reboots, Gavon Infinity put out 2 more teasers, posters, as well as a teaser clip that now shows a gold and silver Gavon to go with the red Gavon. And at first I was like, oh, he has a silver form. Okay, I'll stop complaining that he's just Sarvon. But apparently they're 3 separate characters.
Was that confirmed? Because I've been hearing
the Toei listings say that they're 3 separate characters.
Okay, because I've been hearing its forms. I'm hearing separate characters. I was like, who is it?
Whatever it is, that was a little bit brief teaser, and then they said we'll get more on December 25th. And that leads us to our favorite segment, the Hellfire Quote of the Week, where Hellfire says, I'd like to formally apologize to Soundout12. I didn't think Toei would actually listen to me and keep prolonging the project announcement, and thus dragging out the Sentai news topic even further.
Actually, no, it's Japan time, so we're probably getting to do like Christmas Eve, probably, right?
Yes,
Stanley,
Christmas Eve, but still, we're not. We still don't know anything about this show officially.
It's my birthday gift.
It'll be your birthday. I hope Toei gets you a good birthday gift.
As long as my birthday wishes for it is, can we get like full on trailer?
Yeah. All right. In other news, Kamen Rider Girls Remix is getting a new special where the villain will be Kamen Rider Fatale to go with Kamen Rider Femme. So you get like a Femme Fatale. This is basically like Femme via Ryuga aesthetics, and she'll be played by Yellow Buster.
We got a new Cybot Femme.
Basically, which I think is great. It's funny though, she has the normal Femme deck in this shot, but then in the other shot, she's got like a Ryuga-ified Femme deck. So I'm wondering how that happened.
Like, shit, I forgot.
Yeah.
Get the spray paint out.
Yep.
I actually like. Well, it's a question because I feel like in Dragon Knight they actually had the thing where like Siren and Wing Knight were like a couple or something like that, and that explains why their Advent weapons are similar. Is that similar in Ryuki or no?
In Ryuki, Femme tried to scam Ryuki into a marriage scam and steal his money.
No,
which then backfired on her so hard because she fell
so that's
for him.
still no relation to Knight at all in
None.
Ryuki?
She didn't even have a conversation with him.
Actually, so that was honestly, I think that was cool that they, because since both their weapons are practically the same, I like that Dragon Knight actually had a connection there.
Dragon Knight was a really clever adaptation that doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah, I know, right?
They're like, well, these things should be connected. Why are these not connected? The other big news is that we're getting a new Kamen Rider Ainz, who is played by Hiroshi Fujioka's daughter. And so she is picking up the legacy from her father, who was the first Kamen Rider. And she has been in the last couple of Girls Remix specials, and this belt she's wearing has been a MacGuffin device. And so now she is transforming into her own Kamen Rider. Now, meaning we have a new character that is now a lead in Girls Remix, which I think is super, super cool.
That's cool. I like we have actual like protagonists now for Girls. I think that was really cool, nice how they lead up to that.
I think it's cool because like basically what they did is the first Girls Remix was really tied into Revice, but then the second one onward has been like Ma Jade as the lead, but now we've got Ainz as the lead, which I think is kind of cool to kind of pivot that way. Sort of how like the connecting tissue in Outsiders was Zine right? Like there was like a writer for the spinoff. So that way you don't have to rely on returning actors the entire time. You can
It's
actually work with it.
like how like you have Reboot and Regulos for the Ultra Galaxy fights.
Yeah, it's like that, which I think is cool. I think it's good to have. And she looks awesome. That'll be coming out in January. And then on that note, it's time to talk about the big news of the week. And I mean the big news. And I'm going to do my whole business talk to get everybody caught up.
So tell you need to go in timeline order because it's so hectic. It was so hectic trying to follow this. So
I have been spending hours and hours of my life talking about and discussing and learning about what is going on with the Warner Brothers purchase. So here we go. So let's start with the top fact. All right. Top fact. Warner Brothers is being sold. Okay. Warner Brothers is being sold. That is the entire reason that David Zaslav was in charge of the company. He was buying it so he could flip it in a few years. It's
because this whole thing about Dolly being want to be sold off. This honestly started during the AT&T. I feel like it started during the AT&T merger.
Yes, when the AT&T merger happened, they were like, okay, now who can we sell it to? And then David Zaslav took it, merged it with Discovery, and then made Warner Brothers Discovery, and then was like, okay, now I can sell this, because the bigger the thing he sells, the bigger paycheck he gets.
And then he didn't realize he was damaging the brand so much, and no one wants it. And no one wanted it.
And so he damaged the brand so much, and nobody wanted it, so he couldn't sell Warner Brothers. So then he had to spend time rebuilding Warner Brothers, bringing James Gunn in to do DC, getting movies out there. And then this year, Warner Brothers has had a bunch of theatrical hits. All their movies have hit. And they have like 3 of the top 10 movies of the year, right? So Warner Brothers is like now in a good spot. So now he's like, okay, now I can sell it. It's worth something again. So what ended up happening was that there was a round of bidding where companies could put their first round bids in to say, we're going to buy this part of your company. Some of them just wanted to buy the studio and the streaming service. Some of them wanted to buy the entire company, including the TV networks like CNN and Cartoon Network and et cetera.
So didn't some just only want to buy some of the IPs?
Yeah, some just wanted to buy just the IPs. So everybody put their first round bids in. And then from the first round bids, 3 contenders came out for the second round of bidding. It was Netflix, Paramount Skydance, and NBC Universal. So the second round of bids
Paramount Paramount was like wanting to buy
Paramount's CEO David Ellison has said that he has wanted Warner Brothers as like part of his big movie empire because he's a rich kid who has a bunch of money from his father Larry Ellison, who ties with Elon Musk for the richest person in the world, depending on the day, like how the stocks are going.
Is he a nepo baby?
Yeah, he's a nepo baby. But he wanted to own a movie studio, and he's had Skydance for a long time. That's why Skydance purchased Paramount. He's got a lot of money because if he doesn't have the money, he can get it from his dad because his dad's making more money than anybody in the planet. Whole discussion about billionaires being out of control for a different day. But the whole thing was that they did their merger with Paramount. They merged Paramount and Skydance into one company. Now here's the problem that that Ellison has come up with, is that when they merged everything from Paramount, they overpaid for Paramount. And there is not enough value in that company to make the whole purchase worth it. And basically now he has a studio that doesn't really compete with somebody like Netflix or Disney, but he wants to compete in that space. So
it is kind of funny. It is kind of funny that both WB and Sky and Paramount both got bought out and were to be better, but they both companies had run themselves so bad to the ground that no one wants to.
Yes, exactly. There's a lot of good parallels here. So David Ellison was going to then say, okay, well, Warner Brothers is going to be up for sale. If I buy Warner Brothers, then I'll have a big enough studio to compete with Disney and compete with Netflix, right? So here's the thing that's, timeline of events, and I'm only going to go with stuff that has been actually said. All right, I'm not going to be putting conjecture in. I'm going to be very clear about this. David Ellison has connections to the current president of the United States and his administration. There is business deals, there's negotiations, there's been discussions had. David Ellison's been kind of, you could say, warming up to the current administration, so that way when he were to purchase Warner Brothers, the deal would get approved by the government, because all these huge mergers have to be approved by the government. That's how it's always been. Like, for famously, Disney was only able to get approved when they bought Fox because they weren't buying the TV network, so therefore it wasn't a monopoly. It was still like making them way too big, but ultimately it's backfired on Disney because these mergers never go the way they think.
I think they lost more than gained after buying Fox. It feels
absolutely. It was not worth it in the end for them to do that. But the thing was, that's why that one was approved. Now, when it comes to Paramount buying Warner Brothers, there becomes a big issue because with Paramount, they own a bunch of networks, and then Warner Brothers owns a bunch of networks, and Paramount and David Ellison wanted to purchase all of Warner Brothers, which includes the TV networks, the studio, the streaming service. Nobody talks about WB Games or DC Comics in any of these articles. I have no idea what's going on with either of those. I imagine they come with the IP as like bonus gifts.
That was the weird thing because like the games part was like the information been bouncing around that I don't think anybody got the correct answer of what's going on with WB Games.
Nobody at DC knows who's buying them either. So with all that said, Paramount was making a big, strong push to purchase Warner Brothers. And there was an article that came out, I think it was Bloomberg, I might be wrong on that, but there was an article that came out that said that Paramount expected for the second round of bidding that they didn't matter what they bid, they would get it because they were friends with the current president. So, that was how Paramount was approaching the situation. Then, second round bidding happens. Universal is out of the conversation at this point. They were not willing to spend the amount of money to compete with the other two. So let's get them out of the way. We're not worried about them. It's just come down to Warner Brothers, and is it going to be purchased by Netflix or is it going to be purchased by Paramount? So when the bidding went in, it was reported that Paramount's bid was $27 a share. Netflix's bid was $28 a share, meaning Netflix had the highest bid, which according to the legal things within the Warner Brothers company about sales, means they legally have to accept the Netflix bid at $28 a share. It's also been reported that David Zaslav was a lot happier with Netflix's plans for the company than he was with Paramount's, and he wanted to sell to Netflix. But Netflix did win the bid by Price is Right rules, $1 per share more than Paramount was offering.
So they won by the 1%.
Yes, essentially. So because of that, the acquisition was official that Netflix would be buying Warner Brothers for $82.7 billion. This includes the streaming service, this includes the IPs, this includes the studio. It does not include the TV networks because Netflix was not interested in those, which is understandable because why would Netflix need CNN or Cartoon Network or any of that? Or the Discovery networks.
To the point where they were like tweeting like, "Welcome to the family, WB."
Yeah, they sent an email out to Netflix subscribers. They're like, "We just acquired Warner Brothers." Here's the thing: they haven't yet. They still have an entire year. The deal is not expected to close until Q3 2026.
Was they celebrate too soon scenario right there?
It was less a celebrate too soon and more, I think, a let's advertise like it's already a done deal so we don't get any pushback. Because there is massive pushback. The Directors Guild of America wants to have a meeting with Netflix. The Producers Guild, Writers Guild, and Actors Guilds have all said, we're really concerned about two big studios merging into one, reducing the number of jobs that can exist within the industry and allowing for less competition, which is a legitimate thing to be worried about. There's also been senators in Congress who have brought up this is, violating anti-monopoly deals because it will make Netflix owning Warner Brothers and all that IP and all those properties and all that streaming, they will be too big for anyone to compete with. And that creates a monopoly.
Because that's the thing, because
Netflix's new empire.
Right.
Because that's the thing, when Disney bought Fox, well, that was also like a big deal. Fox
wasn't a huge studio.
Yeah, it was big, but by the point when Disney bought, they were pretty much done the down low.
Yeah.
At that point, where WB, that's a major studio for decades, like decades.
Not to mention, if you look at the charts of subscribers, Netflix has the most subscribers, so Netflix acquiring any studio is going to make them too big. Everybody can't compete with Netflix as is. Now they're going to own Warner Brothers. They're going to be even more impossible to compete with them.
Yeah, that's the thing. People
and they have the rabbit. Get the rabbit.
Yes.
They get the rabbit. It's over.
That's the thing. And so many people go what can take down the mouse? Well, this honestly, probably
because and then what ends up happening at that point is then other studios are going to be like, we need to merge and combine because we're not big enough to compete with Netflix.
We need to hold our own Voltron to defeat the
Exactly.
Megazord.
So here's the thing. The other thing that was the concern brought up was the fact that Netflix's co-CEO Ted Sarandos has said things like, "I don't understand why people go to movie theaters." And Ted, I don't care if you don't understand it. You pulled in $4 million on a third Knives Out movie when it was in limited release that didn't go to any of the major theater chains. There is money in the movie theaters. That is the important part here.
How much did K-pop Demon Hunters made during when it had that like
it was like it was like the #1 movie the weekend it hit theaters on a re-release and had been out for 2 months.
Hey guys,
yep.
what did Zootopia 2 do?
$900 million in 2 weeks
in China.
No, I believe there was a specific word. It was called "it nuked Japan."
Oh god, I saw that one tweet where it talked about Zootopia 2's box office being so big it nuked Japan, and everyone's like, you shouldn't say that. That's the wrong turn of phrase for that country in particular.
Yeah.
Frankenstein pulled in at least $500,000 as well.
And that was a very limited release for that one.
Very limited. I had to go to a movie movie theater that served beer and food. There was a lot, but the thing is, like, it's funny too.
You feel special.
My Regal Theater is having a holiday movie marathon in a couple weeks, and it's like Christmas Chronicles and Klaus and like a couple other Netflix Christmas movies because there's not enough Christmas movies to fill it out.
Oh, I kind of want to see Klaus in theaters.
I kind of do too. I'm like, I just don't know if I'm too busy on the 22nd. We'll see.
It's funny. I want to rent one of my local theaters because you can actually rent and do like film festivals, but I don't know how to get enough the word out there. I want to do a whole Rankin Bass marathon.
So the whole point,
I would join into that one. Honestly.
That would be amazing. So
all of a sudden, it's like, hey, why did this kid from Philadelphia just show up in my neck of the woods? He just wanted to see the Rankin Bass.
I teleported there. I willed this to see Rankin Bass.
He just wanted to see some Rankin Bass.
Anyways, on that point, the thing that, so the big concern is about the theatrical experience, and Ted Sarandos wasn't giving people confidence. The funny story is, after a weekend where where studios like Disney were announcing original theatrical Star Wars is coming back to theaters, there was a new comment from Ted Sarandos that said that when the deal closes, we are in the theatrical business and we're going to do it. We didn't buy this company to destroy that value. Because I think, partially because he saw the backlash, and partially because I think he did start looking at the numbers and realizing how much money there was to have in the theatrical releases. Because even if a movie goes to Netflix, at least it has a theatrical release. It's an ecosystem of sorts with movies, right?
He also doesn't want Eric. I think he also doesn't want Eric Bauza outside Netflix protesting like he did Warner Brothers. He's
gonna do it anyway.
I don't need the literal Looney Tune out here right now. He's already on Twitter. You do it, Doc.
I think also because I don't want to be sure I said he literally genuinely saw the numbers of like K-pop and Frankenstein and all that. The fact they're doing like a theater like finale thing, like
Stranger Things apparently sold out in most theaters for its final episode in theaters, and it sold out. I think what is less likely to happen is Netflix going no theaters ever. I think what's more likely to happen is they're going to go, it'll be on Netflix, or you can also go see it in theaters. Like, they'll give you the option, right? But it's not going to be like as much of an exclusive window, which that's a whole complicated discussion about whether or not that would work. But I feel like their current model is probably what they would adapt to. Because as a lot of people have been discussing about the box office, is there are people that will go to theater, and there are people that will go watch the movie at home. They don't care how long they have to wait. Right.
I think also they'll probably just pick and choose, like, oh, we don't, sad. You're probably gonna go like, oh, this is a streaming movie, but this will be in theaters. Also, Also another reason why they probably want to do it in theaters, because if you're a theater film, you kind of like count for the Oscars, right?
Yes, you can't. Because the Oscars is probably about to change their rules on how your theater runs work. Because currently it's just you have to play in more than one theater for 1 week to qualify. And it doesn't matter if it was before the movie released or after. And they're probably about to change that rule because there's a lot of pushback on, like, should K-pop Demon Hunters even count because its theater run was after the movie came out, right?
They're being pretentious cocksuckers.
They are.
They
are. I don't think it matters where a movie releases. I think it just matters the quality of the movie. I don't think it being in theaters matters.
If a movie's good, no, this is the thing. If a movie's good, it should be nominated for an Oscar. Also, those pretentious assholes robbed Godzilla out of 2 Oscars, and I'm gonna be like Angel when they said Denzel got robbed. I'm gonna be salty for the rest of my eternal
I'm still
life.
salty about Angela Bassett,
Bullshit.
so we're fine. Anyways, back on track to the topic at hand. I think that Netflix owning this much of the industry is a problem, and I think there's a ton of pushback on it, and I think that is a major issue. And I think that it will be ramifications if this even goes through, because we don't even know if this is going to go through, because there's a lot of factors at play, including today's news of Paramount going to do a hostile takeover bid of Warner Brothers by offering $30 a share to all the shareholders directly, trying to undercut the entire deal.
We want the WB, only us.
Yes. So this has been kind of the response out of Paramount has been, we were promised this and we shall get it. Now, I'm not going to say anything in particular because I know how ruthless the Ellison family can be, but I will say that the fact that they can't afford this on their own is showing how insane of a business move this is. Any rational company would say, we lost the bid, we'll move on, we'll buy somebody else, right?
Remember, Sal, you need to use your magical word, allegedly.
Allegedly, Paramount thinks that they can strong-arm whatever they want in this industry, okay?
They're literally that child in the corner going, I want it!
Allegedly, they are the child in the corner that wants it. So the thing is, Paramount as a company was a massive amount of debt, and trying to add more debt, because Warner Brothers has a ton of debt, is really, really bad. And it's not a smart business move, in my opinion. I will also say that the fact that the only way they were able to do this $108 billion offer is that they had to take $24 billion from Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi wealth funds, as well as using Jared Kushner's Affinity Partners equity firm. Now, for those that don't know who Jared Kushner is, he is the son-in-law to the current president. So this is why I said we had to talk about politics today, because it has inserted itself into the entertainment industry in a heavy way. The other thing to add as well with Paramount, if Paramount were to purchase and own Warner Brothers, the Ellison family would have controlling shares or ownership of TikTok, of CBS, CBS News, CNN, pretty much, I think there's another network that they would co-own. They would also end up having all the TV networks, and they would have so much IP that they would be hard to compete with. Now, that being said, I would be less worried about the IP usage and the entertainment industry usage, but more that the fact that there would be this large of a company that is willing to make deals with political figures owning that much of the news media coverage out there. That is a very bad thing. No one should own that much chunk of the overall media landscape. Adding to this, I want to also add that we know that Paramount and David Ellison is willing to make deals with the current president, because there was this insane story that they greenlit Rush Hour 4 with known sex offender Brett Ratner as the director. And Brett Ratner, by the way, is somebody that I cannot say worse things about, because I would get demonetized for the things I want to say about Brett Ratner.
And that's the thing,
Go.
Let me finish the story.
Ryan Singer may be bad, but Brett Ratner is worse.
Brett Ratner is worse. And the reason why Brett Ratner bothers me so much is because Bryan Singer did stuff behind closed doors. Harvey Weinstein did stuff behind closed doors. Brett Ratner did stuff in front of people on set. He didn't even have the decency to just make the movie while being a horrible person. He had to be a horrible person every single step of the way as he went there. And I despise Brett Ratner. So,
and we can't even say allegedly for that.
I'm not even going to say allegedly, okay? There's
hard evidence. There's hard evidence.
There's hard evidence. There's hard testimony. You talk to Elliot Page, you talk to Rebecca Romaine, you talk to many other women, you talk to Halle Berry. Like, Brett Ratner is the worst, okay? So, nobody should be putting Brett Ratner into anything. Brett Ratner is attached to direct a Rush Hour 4 that was greenlit by David Ellison because the current president asked for that movie to be greenlit. Nobody involved at Paramount with distribution, with scripting, with budgets, with anything that goes in involving with greenlighting a movie knew about it until it hit the trades and the announcement was made.
I don't even think was Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker have no idea about it.
Yeah, Bridget those two did.
Greenlighting a movie is when you have a director, a script, a cast, and you're ready to put money to it and make it happen. This was not any of that. It was just giving a favor to Brett Ratner, because Brett Ratner, in addition to being a lot of things I'm not going to say right now so I don't get in trouble, Brett Ratner's last project was directing a documentary for the wife of the current president. So when I can say without a doubt that Paramount owning Warner Brothers is the absolute worst outcome out of any of this, because of all of the influence that is coming from the political sphere into the entertainment industry that would exist through Paramount owning all of this stuff, it is a disaster. It is an absolute disaster if this goes through.
That's the thing. When maybe people say, which was worse, Netflix or Paramount? It's Paramount. Like, Netflix has problems, definitely.
There is not. I don't want either of these companies to own Warner Brothers, by the way. For full disclosure, I don't want either of these mergers to happen. I would rather Warner Brothers not be sold, but if it was going to be sold, I'd rather be sold to somebody that's smaller to make a small enough chunk. Like, if they went to Universal, it wouldn't be as nearly as damaging. We are at the point where Paramount owns too much. The people that own Paramount own too much of the media landscape for it to be a safe space for Warner Brothers. If Netflix acquires Warner Brothers, it's disastrous for the entertainment industry. If Paramount owns Warner Brothers, it's disastrous for the country and probably the world, considering that there are other countries involved in this deal.
Yep, that's the thing. Paramount, Netflix is not great either. Paramount is clearly the worst. Like, when people make those, which path, like, when people say, make those memes on which path you choose, no matter what, I'm choosing Netflix. It's not good, but it's not dangerous.
Yep.
Let's say.
The least dangerous is Netflix, and that sucks because the backslide in Netflix is really concerning. But here's the thing with the Netflix side of this is that we are guessing what Netflix would do with Warner Brothers, whereas we know based on recent behavior what David Ellison would do with Paramount owning Warner Brothers.
I think also because when Netflix, right, you can work with Netflix. Like, if I know for the dub for their voice acting, like this voice acting scene, they SAG-AFTRA were able to negotiate Netflix to have their dubs reunion, for example. Like, you can negotiate with Netflix. You get some work with them if there's a loud enough audience, probably.
I saw there was somebody had a great tweet where they said, Netflix is the better of these two because you feel like if you sit down with Ted Sarandos, you can convince him to release movies in theater and on home video. But if David Ellison owns Warner Brothers, he's just going to do whatever he wants because he's too rich to listen to anybody's opinion.
Yep.
Allegedly.
With Toma, let's see. I saw Toma say.
Paramount owns CBS. That's under their umbrella.
CBS.
ABC's at Disney.
Disney, yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot with Netflix. There is potential that Netflix could make, they could make the right choices. Whereas I think the danger of Paramount and the Ellisons owning Warner Brothers is too high for this to be the case. Now, here's the thing. The initial bid, the bid they're going with here with this much backing, was the initial bid that Paramount put to Warner Brothers in the first round of bidding that Warner Brothers shareholders did reject at one point. They may still want to reject it because I don't know what the thoughts are on the shareholders at Warner Brothers, because they're ultimately the ones that have to make the decision if they're taking this payout or not. There is a lot of people that are very uncomfortable by this part in particular. The $24 billion from Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi wealth funds. There are a lot of people who are in Hollywood that are doing businesses with American businesses, and there's a lot of people in the space that are very nationalistic to the point where they want the money to come from and work in the United States of America, not coming from an outside entity. That's why a lot of them will reject things like anime. That's why they won't, pull in distribution. That's why there's a lot of times you'll see this, like a studio will buy the rights to a foreign film just to remake it with American actors. It's a very common occurrence because it's part of the culture of Hollywood. There's a lot of people that are like, well, Hollywood is the American film business.
Yeah, there's still that racism in the DNA of
exactly
in there.
And in this case, this part here, with this much money coming from the Middle East, and there are there are some people that be like, look, I'm going to get my shares are going to be sold for a big amount regardless. I don't need an extra amount if it's coming from that source. That's kind of like some of the thought process. We don't know how this is going to go. We have to wait and see. But whatever's going to shake out, it's not going to be over immediately. And there is a lot of pushback on this merger that still has to go through because the guilds could all sue. The guilds could all sue and get this merger killed. We just have to see what will happen. We also have no idea if any of the discussions or the connections that Ted Sarandos or David Ellison have with the current president will have any sway in how that decision is made, because if anyone follows the news, the current president does change his mind frequently. So we have to wait and see what's going to happen.
You can sneeze and he'll change his opinion.
Exactly. There is, if anyone, I'm not going to go into it deeply, but if anyone's looked at the way that the current president talked about Zoran Mamdani before he went and had a meeting with Zoran Mamdani, and then seeing him after that meeting, you can see how he switches his opinion and mind on things depending on how situations go. So
look at his war with Musk.
Yeah,
for example.
His war with Elon Musk is a great example of that. So because we have all of these things going on, this is going to be something we will keep an eye out on and cover on this show, because this is affecting the entertainment industry, which I know the entertainment industry, I know Hollywood. I can report on this with solid, concrete evidence. Yes, it does bring politics into this, but politics decide to get into this, so therefore we have to cover it because it is part of what we cover on this show. And we will continue to provide updates, because I feel like a lot of people are going to be in complete chaos trying to follow this story. And if I can at least make it a little bit simpler for everybody, then I'm doing the job I set out to do. So that's pretty much where we stand at the moment, because again, the hostile takeover thing just came this morning. So we're not through the woods yet. There's still a lot more to this. I will keep everybody posted week to week.
Everything changed with the Paramount attacks.
Yeah. It is chaos. Like I think for me, thank you, Blade Raider, for saying thank you. It is chaos, and I'm going to try to keep it as simple as a thing. AR, I will put a chapter marker on the stream of when we start talking about the Warner Brothers deal, so that way if you want to share it to somebody, you can just share that specific chapter marker. It's gonna get messy. This is just the beginning of a messy situation, and we will continue to cover it because I feel responsible in doing so. Because staying aware of what these mega corporations are doing is how we keep aware of like how everything's going on, And this is another case. It's just not a single case of the year, but there's been another case of politics have worked their way into every single facet of life. It's what's also made things exhausting to try to keep up with. But if it's something you care about and something you follow, you got to keep up with it, because it's just the reality we're in at the moment. So I think that covers us, though. Does anybody in the chat have any questions about the deal that wasn't clear? I would like to answer those questions.
I don't blame you, because it's a lot. It was so hard to keep up.
I was like, this whole morning, I was spending the whole morning going through all the articles, making sure I was caught up on all the information, so I could just, streamline it for this. And even as I was saying it, I'm just like, that sounded like word salad.
As Hellfire said, remember, politics does affect everyone. Everyone needs to know what is happening.
Yeah, it can be exhausting. Like, a lot of people sometimes are like, to keep up with politics, you have to keep up with every single thing. Like, no, you just need to keep track of the big stuff, because there is some smaller stuff that's, and the stuff that affects you directly is going to be the stuff you're going to be most invested in. But it's just the nature of how everything goes. All right, let's see.
Oh wait. So we got breaking news
Oh
about
boy.
this. Actually, the discussion film just posts this while we were talking about it. So Paramount CEO David Ellison sent a text to David Zaslav after they made a hostile takeover bid today to buy Warner Brothers. David, I appreciate David still.
Oh, I got it.
Ellison.
I pulled it up on
Okay.
screen. Continue reading it.
I appreciate your underwater. Oh, wait, I appreciate
Okay, I say,
your underwater.
Dave, I appreciate you're underwater today, so I wanted to send you a quick text. No, despite the noise of the last 24 hours, I have nothing but respect and admiration for you and the company. Because it is kind of a bitch slap to be doing a hostile takeover bid after you lost the bid. You know, like, in business terms, that's not really nice to, yeah. It's not really nice. He said it'd be an honor lifetime to be your partner and be the owner of these iconic assets. If we had the privilege to work together, you see that my father and I are the people you had dinner with. Look, I say this as somebody who is not rich. I don't like hearing the words "see that my father and I are the people you had dinner with" coming out of a rich person's mouth. That sends a chill down my spine.
Yeah, something feels kind of
Yeah,
about that.
especially considering who his father is. So, all right, let's go through these questions here. J Pocket says, "Can both deals just get canceled outright and WB stays as is?" It's possible. There is, if enough movement can come on, strong from the guilds, from government legislation, it could cancel it out and just say you can't do this merger, and then Warner Brothers has to go okay, and then they can try to sell again in a couple of years. What about merger home media fallout? Home media fallout's going to happen regardless of what this merger does, because it seems like the big studios just have zero interest in physical media. But that's why smaller companies like Arrow Video doing Ninja Turtles is big, because that means Paramount let them do that. And I think we're going to see more of that. I think we're going to see more films are going to get released by Arrow, by Criterion, by who's the other one? There's another good one. Vinegar Syndrome. There's another one I like that I can't remember. Anyways, these smaller companies, I think, are going to be getting bigger properties because there's money to be made, but the companies don't want to spend the money themselves to release it.
That's because don't they had to pay the pocket for those bonus features?
Yeah, they do. Like Arrow spent the money on the bonus features. That's like part of their costs and the licensing. And that's the thing, is like a big studio's not going to spend that kind of money anymore. Blade Runner said this was more helpful than anything else I've seen on it. That's for sure. Thank you. That was my goal. I was just gonna try to make this as simple. Hellfire did also bring up there will be a ton of layoffs if either merger goes through. That's inevitable. They'll say oh, there's not gonna be that many layoffs. There's gonna be layoffs. That's what happens. Mergers suck, and most mergers lately have not worked out. How has that Activision Blizzard merger gone? Right? How has the Microsoft mergers gone?
How about Disney and Fox?
Disney them owning Fox hurt them. Yeah, so let's see. Thoughts on the sad comment. I mean, I thought all the comments from all the guilds were good. Christopher Nolan is now the president of the Directors Guild, and he left. He broke his deal with Warner Brothers because they wouldn't release. What was it? There was a movie that during COVID, and they were like, "We're not going to release it in theaters," and he was like, "Then cancel my exclusive deal with you. I'm gone." So
I've been seeing some funny memes about that. It's like, who
knows? Maybe he called Ted Sarandos and was like, "You ever want to see one of my movies under your studio? You better let theaters happen." Let's see. Unga999 says, "Should we note the Cartoon Network IP will not stay with the channel?" That is correct, because the IP would be purchased by Netflix, but the channel would not be. Tenet, that was a movie. Thank you. AR said, "Look at the Disney-Sony deal." Yeah, I mean, ever since Disney stopped doing their own home video and sent it to Sony, we've been basically getting just high-profile catalog title and nothing else.
Remember when we got the Sony?
Kino Lorber, that was the other company. Kino Lorber also has been getting a ton of Disney and Fox titles that are like their lesser-known stuff, and a ton of Universal and a ton of Paramount. They've been getting all those lesser-known titles at Kino Lorber. But yeah, we thought with Sony doing home video there'd be more, but it's been significantly less. Funimation and Sony merger, yeah, Sony and Crunchyroll, Sony and Funimation, Sony and Right Stuff, all that just been bad. Mitaki's saying, "How do I access the Netflix game app?" Ask somebody who would care to play Netflix games.
What's the funny? My favorite comment about like mergers, here is like Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard and all that stuff, and here's Nintendo's buying Bandai Namco Singapore.
Yep. And it's funny because I think Bandai Namco Singapore is probably the studio that Bandai Namco studio that's been helping them on games. I would imagine they're just like, why do we not own you?
Because they already work on like I think Pokemon, new Pokemon Snap, and like other games like that, like smaller titles like that. I just like you got all these big buyouts, and you're just like, oh, we just bought this like subsidiary of Bandai. That's it.
Pretty much. Hellfire said another streamer video topic would be how these big companies offload their home media stuff onto smaller companies. That's honestly going to be the top 10 or the best Blu-rays of 2025 video, because a bunch of those are here's a big studio thing made by a smaller company. There's a lot of sub-licensing going on in the industry. Like, for example, the Downton Abbey set, it's released by Universal through Studio Distribution Services, but it's reusing the discs from the PBS release of Downton Abbey, the series.
And the fact that Toei, the big company, is letting Discotek, the small indie company, the Digimon, and such like that.
Mm-hmm. It's I would say, the biggest thing to keep in mind with this whole situation as it develops is, I always say, don't fall into paranoia. It's really easy.
Don't go do like doom posting, all that stuff. Don't go like in the world, all that stuff.
As somebody who realizes that if he spends too much time on social media, he becomes a paranoid freak, I just don't fall into paranoia. It's very easy to go like, the world is ending, but it's like, no, this isn't a done deal. If you want to be vocal about it, be vocal about it. Talk about your concerns with the mergers. Say it. Because, like, obviously, like, everybody's saying, like, everybody responding to Ted Sarandos's theatrical comments got to him because he had to make a follow-up statement that was kind of reversing what he said. You got to say your stuff. You got to speak out. Say what you're going to say, because these companies do listen. It doesn't seem like they listen, because a lot of times they don't. They selectively listen, but they do listen. And if there's enough of a big push from people that says, we're doing this, and in particular, if you want like the theatrical experience kept, go check out some of these Netflix movies in theaters if you can, or these Warner Brothers movies. If you want the home video stuff, there are Netflix shows and movies that come to home video, so buy them. That'll give them numbers, and they look at the numbers like, oh, look how much money we made off of Scott Pilgrim Takes Off coming to Blu-ray. That'll make them more encouraged to continue to do that. Hellfire brings a good point. They listen if their shareholders get spooked. The companies may not listen to comments on social media, but shareholders do. They're always paying attention, because a lot of shareholders are like, we want to invest in a company that's popular. And if they think a company is not popular, they pull their investments. Like when Disney was in hot water with their big political situation, their stock price started dropping because their shareholders were like, you're not the popular kids anymore. We're going to go hang out over here instead. So it's always important to voice your opinions on stuff, because they will be heard by somebody. It may not be the people we need them to be heard by. They will be heard by somebody.
I saw a Variety. I just scrolling through. I saw a Variety article about Mr. President says about the whole still thing. President said he's not taking a side where Paramount or Netflix bid for Warner Brothers. Discovery should win. I have to see what percentage of the market share they have. Netflix, Paramount, no, they're particularly great friends of mine. I want to do what's right.
I don't mean to laugh, but does that sound like they both had really productive dinners with him in the recent history, and now he's like, ooh, which friend do I give it to? I'm not allegedly, I'm saying all this, but it's pretty obvious if you pay attention to the news. This is kind of how he works. There's been several organizations that have been able to get stuff out of him because they treat him like he's a king. I don't like the way that shit's not how, like, the office of the President of the United States should be. It's just the current way it is.
The fact that like, I never heard, like, okay, maybe before probably happened, but I never heard the president ever being involved in these kind of scenarios is insane to me. Honestly.
It is. The day that I heard that Rush Hour 4 was greenlit because the president asked for it I slipped into depression that day, because that was the most horrifying thing I'd ever seen. Because no movie should be greenlit because one person asked for it, no matter who it is.
That's the thing. It honestly sounds like a Simpsons episode, doesn't it?
It does. What's the classic phrase? I'm worried the Onion's going to go out of business because reality's too satirical to be real. Like, I had to check so many times to make sure that Rush Hour 4 news was coming from discussing film and not discussing fish. Discussing fish trips me up sometimes, that one was real, and I was like, I cannot believe that. I also don't think that movie's ever gonna get made, to be honest, because nobody wants to work with Brett Ratner. Yeah, it's gonna be messy. I think that, you know, if you want to have the hopeful side of this, is that, you know, ultimately, when you push people too far, they push back. It's the inevitability. If you study history, people that are pushed too far, if things are taken away from them too much, people will push back in the opposite direction. And I think that it's very much like, I feel like a lot of people are at their breaking point with how this year's gone in America, and I think that it's like, how much further are they going to push us?
You might say it can't be 2025 without some political nonsense. Really,
Yeah,
really,
it's unavoidable. It's unavoidable.
This whole year.
Hence, by the point, I have not talked about any of this all year because I keep this show about the entertainment industry. I keep it about Blu-rays and comics and toys, but they've inserted themselves into it. So now I am going to give my thoughts on it.
Let's see. We had the tariff thing. That was all political.
That's true. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I almost forgot about the whole tariff situation because of how long this year has been. But yeah, we had to talk about it with the tariff situation. Now we talk about it with the entertainment industry. It seems like the current administration is just going to do everything in their power to insert themselves into every aspect of your life so that they're inescapable, and it just drives me insane.
That's the sad thing is your toys, games, like movies, entertainment. Like, this is all supposed to be escapism from all this stuff, but now they're forcing it in their escapism now.
AR said, "How much of the tariff situation is still ongoing?" I think the ones for China got dropped because there was a meeting between current president and Xi Jinping, the head of China, and they had a meeting, and apparently, I think the China tariffs are gone. We're still dealing with this issue with the de minimis fees. That, like, if you import something to the United States, you're going to pay a fee, like a customs and duty fee. That used to be only if it was over $800, but now it's like everything, and that's been so hit or miss. I got CDs from the UK, got no fees. I've got some places charging me up front for fees. Other places are like, deal with it when you get it. So, yeah, and the Supreme Court's dealing with it. I think it went to an appeals court.
It's still hard.
It's still around.
So hard to keep up.
Yeah,
it's getting to the point where it's so hard to keep up now with this.
Yeah,
that's the problem. It's like it's the scenario where it's like
that's right. Hellfire brought up Costco is actually suing the current administration because of the tariffs and how much it costs their business. And you know what? Shout out Costco. They've been one of the best.
Costco's the goat. Costco's usually the goat.
they really are, and they've been awesome. They kept their diversity programs. They've kept going with the company as they are, and they're pushing back, and that's good because Costco's huge and they can do that.
I think hopefully doesn't age poor. I think right now we're okay with tariffs. It's still there, but it's not as bad as when it was starting and such. So, like,
and with the way things have been, it could go away like tomorrow morning. It'd just be like, and it's gone.
For example, like, I still need to ship some stuff from HOJ before HOJ still, and I don't feel like I'm scared to ship
because
it out.
It does seem like the custom fees. I don't want to say this with a surety, but from what I've seen, it is pretty much depends on who processed your custom sheet. That's kind of how it's been going. It's not a consistent, and it's not been like $80 per package like they said it was going to be. Some people get charged 20, some get 25. Like, for example, I got an anime package I need to ship out, and they're including the fees up front. So hopefully that means when it comes through, it'll be fine. So. It's just where we're currently at, it's like, it's chaos, and it just seems incessant, and it's easy. I will say it's easy to get tired. And it's also hard to keep up with absolutely everything. And I saw somebody give some really great advice, when trying to keep up with current politics, is that, like, you need to pick like the 3 or 4 things that affect you the most, that matter to you the most, and keep up with that, as opposed to trying to keep up with everything. You'll burn yourself up keeping up with everything. You got to focus in your focus, because they're trying to hit everything all over the place. But if you can focus in on the stuff that matters the most to you, it'll help save your brain from overcooking.
That's the thing. Yeah,
because
it's
of how much
important.
info is coming in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's important to know this information, but if you're really feeling overwhelmed and stuff, like it's okay to take a break from
Yes,
it and such that. If you really,
it is absolutely okay to step away from it. It's just like you don't step away from it for like 6 months because then like a million things have happened. But if you're like one of the things I did this year was I turned off my news alerts and I made it so that I am checking the news when I am sat and ready to process it. Not that like my phone pings and goes, "Look what happened." It's like now I specifically spend my time in the day to go, "All right, let me catch up. What has been going on today?" And I do like 3 or 4 times a day. I check in on stuff, and then after a certain point at night, I just stop it and I'm like, "Look, if if the world's going to end, I will get an emergency alert for it." So,
yeah, yeah.
like that's how
That's
I
how
have to
I've been
handle it.
doing.
Yeah.
That's how I've been doing it. I'm really grateful that
Yeah.
like the tear-ups and everything hasn't really affected my workplace at all
Mhm.
and such like that. And like, thankfully, by the power of being employed, I don't have to suffer too much about a
Yeah.
lot of this news. Like, I feel like, this kind of goes into like the current state of the world, but like, I think the reason why so many people feel, I think the whole like vibe of the internet, why everybody's
Mhm.
so negative and down and end of the world is so much unemployment. Unemployment.
Yeah.
What's the classic? What's the phrase? I'm too employed to know about this drama or something like that. Like
Yeah,
it's
like cuz there's like the thing is when you are unemployed or you're a content creator like me, you can look at the internet 24/7. You should not look at the internet 24/7. You
yeah,
know?
yeah,
Yeah.
like that's the thing. I'm lucky. I'm grateful. I mean, like I'm really grateful that I was able to get a stable job
Mhm.
in the year 2020. The year 2020 and
Yeah.
keep it to this day and such like that. It's been my day
Like always,
job and
people have been saying, like if you have a job, keep that job until you get another job. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
and such like that, and like it's and while that's I've been able to at least keep
Mhm.
at peace sometimes. I mean, hell, sometimes I feel
Yeah.
better at my job than I do at home looking at the internet sometimes.
Yep.
I mean, I'll tell you, when you have an engineering job, really build. I mean, for me, building electronics is actually a really peaceful mind.
Mhm.
I get in the zone when I build stuff. But yeah, no, that's kind of unfortunate state in the world where like since so many people are unemployed, what do they do? Just kind of just scroll online and see
And
all
social
this
media
stuff.
apps are like built to feed you the negative stuff first. And that is it's a proven thing that like they will populate your feed with like look how terrible things are and then you're like wow the world's awful and it's like no the world is still a good place in a lot of ways it's just there's people trying to make it worse consistently and sometimes the best thing you can do is like shut off the internet and literally like I know touch grass is like an overused phrase but like go outside see the
But
world
there's
say
been
hi
a
to somebody on
report.
the street.
I mean, there's been a report of like so many like Gen Z people going back to retro tech, and I
Yeah.
think that's an example of that, especially
Absolutely.
that.
Unga had a good phrase here. At the end of the day, you need to take care of yourself first before you can delve into the problems of the world. 100% agree. You got to be able to like, if you are a mess, you can't help anything around you, right? You gotta get yourself centered, get yourself like together, and then you're strong enough to tackle it. Muteki says I just follow the weather on the news. I have a weather app. I have a weather app specifically on my phone that alerts me of weather events in my area. Like if it's gonna rain, I get an alert. If it's gonna like thunderstorm, whatever, I get an alert for it. That's the kind of app I like having alerts for. Um, so
Mhm. I
yeah.
think it's actually I mean, ironically, because it's December, but like I think right now, since Christmas is coming up, to spend
Mhm.
or whatever like holiday you celebrate, spend time with your family and friends because I think you really need them right
Yeah.
now currently with how the world is. I think spend time with the loved ones you love
As always, we're
and
better
such.
together than we are apart, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, and so
Uh,
I think bringing that all around, including our mental health chat, which check in on your mental health. As somebody that goes through the gamut of things in a day at times, I found that like you gotta regulate yourself on keeping track of stuff. Like for me, I'm
mhm.
gonna be finishing the stream. I'm gonna go put the chapter times in, and then I'm shutting my computer off, and I ain't turning it back on until tomorrow. Everything is tomorrow's problem at that point.
Next week we should do the Digimon tier list.
I mean, I think we're gonna have we'll do a little bit of news. We'll try to like go through because we'll have the epic collections to talk about. That'll be fun. Actually, fun. It'll be fun to talk about comic books, right? Love comic books.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about comic books. If there's any updates on this whole thing, we'll touch on it next week. There's no Gavan teaser next week because they said they're not going to be till Christmas. I'm like, good, need a break.
Don't jinx it. I mean, our Sentai.
I know. I even had to cut a news story about Gojuju AI generating sandcastles. Like there aren't just PNGs of sandcastles they could have used.
What?
Gojuju's doing everything for me to hate the show. Anyways,
catch a break, man.
That show, man. It's just Sentai's just going down the tubes. I'm ready for it to be over. I'm not gonna miss it for a while. I think it covers us. Stay tuned for videos this week. I'm doing Ninja Turtles tomorrow. Get to talk about the first good home video release for Ninja Turtles. 40 years.
Wait, you're doing a short on it?
No, I'm doing a full video. I'm gonna film it and make it tomorrow. And I said tomorrow, and I'm already moved on to Wednesday. I'm not gonna do a short tomorrow. I was gonna do it. I didn't have time today because I was, Warner Brothers, and I was like, thinking with my algorithm, I like doing shorts, and I'll put 2 out. But like, my algorithm is not affected by me not putting a short out. It is affected if I don't put a full video out.
Did you do a short just going like, hey guys, I'm watching the Digitruth 4K right now?
I could do something like that, but we'll see. Yeah, I think it's time to wrap up. So go for it. Go promote or whatever.
Hey, follow me at Dark Hosting for Tree on YouTube and Twitter. I mean, Blue Sky. If you want any commissions, you want any commission for the DM near Blue Sky or through Discord, through Sounds Discord Protocol. Link in the description below.
Yeah.
You can build a mute. So, what's our awesome website, Sam?
It is Hero Club, a Hero-Club for life. Or nope, that's not the website. It's hero-club.com. On social media as Hero Club for life. By the way, for those following all of our streams, Fighter Cows Jerry is not streaming.
What does Cows? Wait, is Cows streaming tomorrow or no?
He is not streaming tomorrow, and he's not streaming Friday. He's taking the week off streaming, giving himself a break, which I think is great and encouraged. But go follow him at twitch.tv/fightercows so you know when he does go live.
Yeah, catch him when he is live.
Yep. And I think that pretty much covers it. I think we're good. We'll see you guys next week. We'll see what we end up doing. It's just play it by ear. At least we'll have epic collections to talk about. And that'll be fun.
And hopefully Digimon.
And hopefully Digimon. I know the near mint condition announcement for the epic collections. They said they're announcing 20 epics, which is it's going to be 12 classics, 6 modern, and 2 reprints. My memory does still work. I didn't even have to look that up. I just remember that from reading it this morning and being excited.
It's comic. You remember comics.
I do. Also because I'm excited because I'm like, ooh, reprints. Because I'm missing 1 X-Men. No, I'm missing 2 X-Men and 2 Fantastic Four. So I'm kind of like, could I get, some of those? So
gotta get a gift for now.
Yeah. If anyone wants to gift me out of print epic collections, that'd be great. They're expensive. Don't do that. Anyways, we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.